Those eyes, desire, will burn for years and miles. Can't change what's done. Where we begun.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Northern Tasmanian Croquet Centre at St Leonards for the Openshaw Shield Finals Day. World Croquet Federation PFC Mallets Golf Croquet World Teams Championships Tier 1. We're down to the pointy end of the tournament. We're at the final. We have USA taking on Egypt. First match today is going to be the doubles between Blake Fields, Ben Rothman taking on Khaled, Kamel and Yasser from Egypt. I'm joined by Marty and Chris Fox, the Greenkeeper, doing all the lovely work. G'day, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
So, Marty, over to you, my friend.
Yep, so just a quick update on what's happening on the venue. So we've got the final between USA and Egypt kicking off. That goes for 2 days. It's a best of 13. All of the other matches for placings are best of 9. Australia and New Zealand playing for 3rd, 4th. South Africa and England for 5th, 6th. And the 7th, 8th, the all-important let's not get relegated match is between Ireland and Spain. So most teams will probably terminate once there's a winner and not play the dead games. So that'll probably happen tomorrow. So today we should have a full day. The weather here today apparently is going to be a fairly warm one for Launceston. I'm told 32 is the latest we were expecting sometime during the day. But we'll be starting with the dew, a little bit of coolness in the air and quite a bit of shadow. Chris Clark will be coming on commentary as well shortly, but in the meantime we're just going to do a quick interview with Chris Fox, who is the local greenkeeper and has done most of the work or coordination of the work for the mowing, weeding, line marking, etc., etc. So, Chris, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
I got involved in croquet about 3 years ago, and I come to the centre here just by mistake. I was walking past the ground, and a guy called me in to have a game, so it started there. And for the first 12 months, the lawns were an absolute disgrace, and they needed somebody to take over. So I got myself and my neighbour, who'd just started as well, and we sort of took it over, and we've gone from there. And finally, I hope we've produced a package that's good enough for the skill of these players that are playing here. And I'd like to wish the two teams all the best in the finals, and so on and so on, you know.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, no, it's all right. Thank you for your work.
Green looks a treat. Just a question, what kind of grass is out there?
It's a very fine grass. It's I'm not quite sure the name of it because it was in the surface when we got here, but we find that I used to go to the Launceston Golf Club, and my mate Jeff Jackson, who looks after the all the parks and playing surfaces around Launceston, I usually run to them. Like, I only have to pick up a phone, and they're quick to advise us what we do and what to do. You know, I think Marty was across with us a couple of years ago when we had a fungus go through the lawns, and in doing that, we prepared for it this year by putting a prevention in to stop the funguses from creating themselves, because it actually comes from underneath. It doesn't, and it kills the grass from underneath, and you don't see it coming until it's there. And hopefully the prevention has worked this time. Thank you very much.
No, mate, you've done a very good job on the lawns, and everyone's pretty happy, and
Yeah.
and the speed's not too bad, so well done.
Yeah, we got was over there with Liz, and I didn't know her prior to this event, and the first thing she said to me was no more water, and I thought, oh Jesus, what are we going to do? Because we've poured a fair bit of water onto the lawns to try to keep them up, but about a week and a half, fortnight before the event, we put a liquid fert on, and in the fert we added an iron to keep the green in the lawns, so they was always looking green. Even though the lawns are dry, they don't look dry because of the iron in the lawn.
Okay. I'm not a grass person. It doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but it sounds feasible. The situation with Tasmania, of course, is it's a big island south of the mainland of Australia, so the grass types and some of the conditions are very different to the rest of Australia. So us mainlanders don't really understand the nuances of dealing with the grass down here.
No.
I believe you got a bit of advice from a local grass expert, other than the golf club guy. Was there somebody who came out and had a look at it?
Jeffrey Jackson, he
was the golfer.
He looks after all the lawns in town, Aurora Stadium and all that. He looks after all that, or he's involved in it, I probably should say. But we had everything tested about 12 months ago after that President's Eight, and we found that we weren't putting enough water in the lawns, because we'd go down half an inch and the lawns were still very dry.
Yeah.
So consequently, the grass weren't pushing its roots down. But as we worked forward, we managed to overcome that by flooding the lawns quite often. Like we went through a period where we were flooding them every second day just to get the water into the grasses.
Yeah. All right, we've just got a slight glitch with our screen that we're going to be looking at here. The HDMI works its way loose, and it's just turning itself on and off. You can't see that at home, but it's annoying us.
Only you, Marty.
Only me, apparently. It must be me every time I turn up. All right, Chris. Well, the warm-ups are almost concluded, I would imagine. Egypt have had a little team powwow out on the lawn.
Yep.
So I think we're almost getting up to start time, and I believe, sorry, we've got to move you on and replace you with a different Chris.
No, that's fine.
Chris Clark's coming in to do the commentary. Thanks.
No, thanks you.
Foxy.
Thanks for everything.
And Noel, your assistant, is Noel Jenkins, is that right?
No, Hiskin.
Noel Hiskin.
Has done a power of work, mate. You know, he's a great ally, and it's, it just makes it easy when somebody can get around a bit better than I can. And anyway, no.
Yeah. Well, you're a good combination, because he moves a bit better than you, but he can't hear everything. So.
Yeah, good one, Marty. You're right. Spot on there. No, he won't answer back.
That's right.
Well, Gary's just saying, well done, Foxy, on a great job with the courts. So.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Marty, while we wait on Chris to come over, you got a bit of a. Who do you think on form? Any?
I had a feeling before the whole event started that the US were going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yep.
And here they are in the final. Egypt are perennial finalists. Obviously, they've been in every one. Usually against New Zealand. This is the first time that's not the case. So I'm putting myself out there to say the US not romping away with it, but probably not going to the last match either. So a comfortable little win to the US. I'm going to go for.
And we'll welcome in Chris Clark. Morning, Chris.
Thanks very much. I've got 7-5 USA.
Yeah, that would be about similar, I would think. Yeah.
The keys to these, both the semi-finals and the finals, in my opinion, have been how well people have played at 12 and 13.
Yes.
You've got to get over the line at golf croquet, and normally it's not a matter of running a 1 foot straight hoop. You've actually got to play some good shots to actually win. And 3 world champions in the American team, the last 3 world champions competing against a very strong Egyptian team.
Yep.
And I had Australia to beat Egypt as well in the semi-final. So they're actually coming in with a lot of confidence. 7-3 against Australia is a huge win for what I thought were not the favourites. And it's interesting to see their team dynamic this morning. I think for the first time ever I've seen them have a sort of group huddle. They had 6 or 7 of them in the middle of lawn 3, having a sort of team motivation session, a big sort of Arabic shout at the end to motivate them.
Yep.
It's been a good team unit. I think they've got strong individual players, and I think it's going to be a fantastic an exciting test match for us to watch. The Egyptians are going to have more balanced play. They're going to try and approach hoops a little bit tighter than the Americans, and they're going to try and develop hoop positions more than the Americans. The Americans are all about getting hoop shots. They keep shooting at hoops from long way away, and they're very good at it. So how is that dynamic going to hold up? Are the more aggressive, longer shots going to pay off under this extreme pressure in the final, or are the more balanced tactics of the Egyptian team going to come through? I'm generally in favour of balance, but this is a very, very strong American team.
Yes. Okay, so still winding down the warm-up here. So our feature match was Ben and Blake against, who were the 2 Egyptians?
Yasser Syed and Khaled Kamel.
Yes. Okay.
One of the things we should say is the final's being played on lawn 3 and lawn 5. They're the 2 primary lawns in front of the clubhouse. But for the first time in a test match, they're on different sides of the slope.
Yes.
So lawn 3 is going to slope from the eastern to the western side, and lawn 5 is going to slope from the western to the eastern side. So for any player who has to change lawns during the day, there's that extra physical and mental challenge of going, hold on, this is the opposite to what I've just been doing.
Absolutely. Just quickly looking at that, and then the first singles straight on after the doubles, they're not changing lawns, so they've dodged a bullet, and nor is the other side, so that should stay the same for most of the day.
Okay, so that's useful for them.
Yes. Yeah, and then the second round of singles, of course, is much later in the day, and they are all changing sides.
Right.
Yep.
Just do a shout to our event partners, PFC Hoop Winner Mallets. Massive shout to them. Thank you. Super Turf Line Marking Systems, Croquet Tasmania, Events Tasmania, City of Launceston, and all the other little minor sponsors. We've got a lot of people that have gone into putting this event together. So thank you to everybody and all the volunteers. They've done a great job.
They certainly have. I don't know that they're minor sponsors. We'll just say smaller sponsors.
Yeah. Well,
every sponsor is a major deal.
I think one of the things we ought to highlight, because I know some people have been asking, is has Peter Cole's got a new type of mallet? Because they're called hoop winners here, and actually it's just a mistake. There is mallets are hoop maker mallets. The same mallets he's been making for a while, and he's sold thousands of them all over the world to happy customers. So it's still the hoop maker, and it's going to be the same mallet you've got in your hands at club level. He's still got them in his stand, and I know they're very popular with a lot of players around the world.
Yes. Do you know if he's made many sales during the course of the event?
I haven't been over that way very much. I've been tending to watch the England team and try and keep an eye on the actual knockout matches.
Yeah. And been in dread of possibly being called up as reserve?
I'm so pleased I haven't been. I had a nice few games against Jenny before I came out here, and I thought, Chris, you're just starting to get it back again. I'd won a few games in a row, and I turned up here and I was just rubbish again. So, delighted that my guys have managed to get into all of the matches, and hopefully we'll manage to reverse yesterday's bad loss to South Africa. We lost 4-2 yesterday in that last plate round. It wasn't sort of particularly live for us, so I think we'll go in with a little bit more focus today and try and get that 5th place, which is sort of the minimum we would expect out of the tournament.
So while the final is the biggest gig in town, the other big match, of course, is the relegation one, which is up on courts 7 and 8. with Ireland playing Spain. So who do you fancy staying up?
Well, I sort of fancy the Irish. It's difficult. Yesterday, the Irish didn't play their full team.
No.
And they lost. Now, today they are playing their best four. And I think it's going to be really close. I think it's going to go right down to the wire. The Spanish team started off very, very well. And lots of them were playing well. And the last couple of days, I think they've dropped performance level.
Okay.
Now, if they can play as well as they did on the first 2 days, I think the Spanish will win. Otherwise, I think Ireland will just creep over the line and stay in by the smallest of margins. This Spanish team is not representative of Spanish croquet.
No, which was quite a surprise. But anyway, we can probably come back to that later because we've got hit off. We've got the blue coming on to start the match.
And this is Khaled Kamel, bronze medalist in the most recent World Championship at Chesapeake Bay. I was asked the other day what his ranking was. I was a bit out. He's at low 20s, about 22-ish. The Egyptians choose their team based upon internal ranking tournaments.
Okay.
So it's not like the rest of us where we play lots of tournaments and then a group of selectors go, right, well, these are the best 4 players. They actually have a sort of an individual tournament for it. So you've got players that we might normally expect to be here, like Mo Karem, Akpan El Mahdi, Ahmed Naz, and they're not here. You've got Yasser Syed, in my opinion, is their best player.
Yeah, he's been in jet form.
So the key when you're playing Yasser is, can you get him under pressure? Because I can't find any weakness in his game other than the fact I think he gets a tiny bit worse. But if you can get him under pressure, only a little bit, but otherwise I can't really find a weakness. He's great positionally. He's a good hoop runner. His jump shots are okay. Tactically sound. All the Egyptians tend to take the right options. So 2 poor shots from black and blue, neither in front of the hoop. Ben's managed to get a good straight ball. That, this is the American way. They're going to try and get lots of long hoop shots.
Absolutely. Yellow looks to be a little shortish. There is a bit of deception. Oh no, it's not too bad. A bit of deception on the screen in front of us because of its shape and the perception through the cameras. We've dealt with that all week though. Yeah.
I think blue will try and take position. It might try and get in the draws, but I think it'll just nudge in front. And I don't think that's the sort of play that the Americans would have done. They've probably cleared yellow to a boundary and got deep in front of the hoop again. It's another, 2 shots to not really be in front of hoop 1 is a bad start for Khaled as blue. And the first American hoop shot coming up.
Yep, exactly what the Americans were looking for was a hoop shot, regardless of distance.
Well, it's a good effort. Got sort of towards the middle of the hoop. But these quadways, you actually need to hit the middle of the gap, not just flick a wire.
One of the things we were concerned about here in Tasmania is, although it's a kind of a clay beneath and drains badly, it is quite, it's not holding very tight on top, and the hoops are having to be reset frequently.
And the referees have done a cracking job. We came and the ground was so soft we didn't think the hoops would provide any challenge at all, and they have. It's been really, really good. The ground's dried up as the week's gone on, and on the side lawns 1, 2, 7 and 8 there are quite fast patches.
There is.
We won't find anything really quick on the final lawns 3 and 5. They'll be fairly mid-afternoon. They might get up to 11. But with the dew on them first thing, they're probably close to 9.5.
Yes. And of course the downside of this weekend is tomorrow there is rain forecast.
There is.
And might change things.
It's a big advantage to the American team if that happens. I was part of the New Zealand team in London in 2016, and day 1 of the final was cold and wet, and we got a 4-2 lead. And it was just enough to get us over the line on the following day. So the Egyptians won't like it if it's wet. These have been ideal weather conditions. It's been a glorious week. We've dodged a bullet with the weather.
first practice day had a bit of rain and hail. The Egyptians were very quick to get off the lawn when it started to hail.
So yellow's decided blue's a non-runner, and it is really acute. I think it's fractionally outside the corner. I think it's a runner. I think you can absolutely power this into the far wire and it'll get through.
Okay.
I'd probably jump from here, but the Egyptians just tend to power the ball flat. This is well inside the corner. I can see it from... They're literally about 8 yards away from us. And that wasn't a bad shot.
Yeah, it's got a lot of spin, but it stopped dead, and it's actually taken a position that's... Red can see it.
Yeah, Red can definitely clear this. Got the option of taking it quarter ball and coming off the south boundary. But he could just centre ball this and stay in front of the hoop.
Could do.
That's what I would be trying to do. I'm running 6 and 7 yard hoops all the time wasn't really what I was playing for. I was playing for tight position and blocking position, and when eventually the opponent misses, I'm going to run hoop 1 in front of hoop 2 and try and get 2 points out of it. So Ben's actually done very much more what I would have done there.
Yep.
He's tried to potentially roll that red ball forward to get a block on black at yellow.
Yes.
Which I don't think he's got.
I don't think he's got it.
This should be a medium pace takeout of yellow. You can play it hard. He might have got the block actually. It's very close.
It is very close. We can't see the black ball from where we're sitting because it's too close to the wall. My feeling is he's looking at shooting the hoop. He's right here, right up, backed up against the wall. It sure looks like he's not pointing anywhere near any ball.
No,
definitely hoop shooting.
Shot, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, very good.
There you go.
Super shot. And we'd seen previously, Ben's hoop shot, it got pretty much towards the middle of the hoop and it was just spat out. That shows that, if you actually do play a really good shot at the middle, you can run the hoops. And you see the spin on the ball's actually almost made it off the west boundary with that level of power and spin.
You wouldn't think you could get that angle out of there, but yep. Yellow looks pretty good going down. It's just on the edge of the shade being provided there by that tree. Looks to be, well in front of the hoop.
Yeah, it's a decent shot with yellow, but black's all over yellow. Khaled will be really disappointed with that. You've got to get between yellow and the hoop. Make your partner think that if he just power clears yellow, you are definitely running hoop 2.
Yep.
And that's quite a long way away.
Okay.
A hill going right to left.
Yep, that's going to flick. Oh, I was going to just flick the yellow over.
That's gone.
Yeah, it's gone too far. Probably not hearing that at home, but we just got a little bit of feedback there. Chris has just been called away to discuss something important between the tournament manager and the guy who coordinates the commentary. So I'm flying solo for just a few minutes. Hopefully the shadow is not, the shadow is not interfering with your view of what's happening on the court. Are you having to leave or are you allowed to be back?
I'll be allowed to stay.
Okay. Is that hopefully not some crisis in the New Zealand team?
No, I was told I was doing
rather?
the first 2 games of the doubles, and apparently that was tomorrow rather than today. So,
so you've got in early. Okay, so yellow has a slightly hampered backswing, but I don't think it affected his shot, and he's failed.
That's always a weakness of mine. If I had a ball behind me, I was much less good at hitting it straight.
Just the knowledge it was there.
So, not the best of starts for America.
No.
And this is an example of the difference between the two teams. America always going to shoot that hoop with blue. It's in front, it's straightforward. The Egyptians are probably going to play a little bit more to guarantee the hoop.
Yes.
And will only take on a hoop if they think they're the underdog. So like the last hoop where we got the wire, and Yasser didn't have an open shot. He took on the hoop and he made it. And the Egyptians are always going to take on that comparatively short hoop. It was about an 8-footer. And now Yellow's going to get the chance to shoot back at Blue after Black's taken position. And if Yellow hits that, it's only minor advantage to Black and Blue then.
All the same, I think Ben would be a little unhappy with where Red scored it off to there.
Possibly. I mean, he's made sure he's on the on the short boundary side.
Yes.
Chance potentially for a double clearance here for Blake if he can hit half ball on the right.
Blake has drifted past the Blue. They're a bit wider apart in real life than it looks on the screen.
Okay. Thanks, Marty.
Yeah.
Good shot. Still going to be 2 balls in front for the Egyptians.
Yes.
And now the Americans on the short boundary side, they need to be clearing more mid-pace than hard. All the Egyptians have to do is keep putting their balls back in front of the hoop, avoid any potential double clearances. This is a bit short. That's not good from there.
Yeah.
That's a more difficult hoop than the one he turned down earlier.
Indeed.
I do think Yasser is significantly stronger than Khaled. I think he's the better of the 2 players. Let's see if...
It's reassuring him he won't do it again there on screen.
That's a lot harder than I would have hit it.
Yeah.
But he's hit it in the middle.
That's right.
And he's now in a very strong position. Got back in the hoop, providing Blake can clear the Blue. We're probably down to 60-40 to the Egyptians at the moment, having hit that in the middle.
So in your opinion, the Egyptian approach, has it changed over the recent years? Because the people have the impression that they're just bash, crash, Kamel with everything. And
they've never been bash. They've always had balance, and they've had different types of players. So Salah Hassan would be far more positional and stop shot clearances and trying to completely control the hoop. Salah won, I believe, 2 Open World Championships and then the over 50s as well. Yes. Whereas other top Egyptian players were more power games. So both the Naz brothers were. One of the things that people don't understand is how good, particularly Mohammed Naz, was positionally.
Yes.
So they play a really good positional shot, then they play a 7 or 8 yard power clearance to the other side of the lawn, and they just monstered people. They were just all over them. Salah was a more positional type player who developed hoops, and the change over the recent years is that the younger players tend to be more willing to take on the odd long hoop and potentially clear with the first ball.
Yes. Okay, so are you a little surprised that Blue didn't attempt to block Red at Black here?
No, I don't do that either. I just keep putting balls in front, and eventually I'm hoping, particularly in this early stage of a match, that the Americans will either miss a clearance or just clip it and the ball will go 20 yards away.
Yes.
So this first 6 hoops of doubles, I'm playing really conservatively. I'm trying to get errors out of my opponent.
Yes.
If we get to hoop 7 and they're still 3 all, even if I'm 4-2 down, then I can still change my tactics by that stage and be much more positive. That's a lovely shot again.
Yes, they're sticking to the plan.
Shooting towards the boundary, you hit this as hard as you want.
Yep.
It's a good shot.
Yeah, so he centre balled that one. The previous attempt by Yellow just nicked Black and actually improved Black's position, which was why I was asking if Blue would have blocked.
So again, you could play Blue into the blocking line here, and it's probably more tempting to do here. Yellow looks like it is just fractionally not able to run the hoop, but it's really close. The hill goes against him. So Blue may well come in more on the blocking line this time, but still the key is to make sure you're in front. Alternatively, they'll play the opposite side of the hoop to red, and not leave any sort of double clearance. Oh, sorry, he's got a short clearance on red. I hadn't seen that from the camera picture, but out on the lawn, he's got a 3-yarder at red. So he's going to power this to the to east boundary. Yeah, no, that's... if you remember, I say when you're shooting towards a short boundary, you hit it hard. And the reason is you don't want your ball left in the lawn to leave that easy power clearance that Khaled's just, he hasn't missed it, but he's only flicked it.
That's right.
And now this is
a chance for the Americans to turn it around here.
Yeah, it's probably marginally in the Americans' favour, 55-45. Ben's just going to get rid of this ball, and Yasser's going to try and play sufficiently neutrally to allow Khaled enough time to get back into the hoop. Definitely a chance to hit it just off centre on the left and get in the jaws. Did the opposite and almost peeled it.
So a lost opportunity there.
Yeah. Back into the Egyptians' favour again. And you'll see these hoops, they'll see sort of one way or another.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's one of the beautiful things about the game. Association croquet, most of the time people are playing a break and nothing happens to swing the match quickly. The lift shots are obviously every 20 minutes or so, and they are very important. But almost every shot here has a relevance.
Okay, so Yellow's taken a nice clearance there.
But he's lost his ball to behind the hoop, and this allows the Egyptians to potentially play a good positional shot into hoop running position, wide from the yellow, and that's going to force the red to clear straight away. Long positional shot. Let's see how well he does. A little bit downhill.
So his deflection when he left didn't bring hoop 2 into play, which is hoop 3 into play.
It's almost there. It's about one ball short from being wide from yellow. So a very good effort. Black has the opportunity to nudge blue into running position wide from yellow. So Ben might feel forced to take the clearance on here.
It's something I've seen this week that I didn't think I'd see as much of, is people attempting to nudge another ball up. Something I hadn't really thought about at this level as being used as often.
Yeah, if black misses the nudge, you want it to stay within about 5 feet of blue.
Indeed. And it should be in a good position if it misses anyway.
Yeah, he's tried that.
But he's got a good position.
It's a good effort. Red's going to struggle to clear that and stay in good hoop running position. Blake now needs to hit his clearance, and he does. Can Khaled play another long positional shot?
Well, I think on form he should be able to. Yeah, and there'll be a little drift on the slope on the lawn, but should, after playing here for a week, be able to allow for that.
I've enjoyed the lawns. I think I'd have loved playing here. Particularly after the first couple of days, they started speeding up in the afternoon, so the pace has been okay once you got to lunchtime, and the slopes have been very predictable.
They are predictable, which is the good thing, yes. I was impressed that you did a lot of work on the practice day Saturday, drawing little diagrams of what they were doing. And
yeah, so we've tried to map all the key lines, so 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and the offside positions to like hoop 7 and hoop 13. You can't map every little bit of the lawn, but if you can just have 1 minute looking at a sheet before you do your 10 minutes or 5 minutes warm up, you can say, it's 3 balls left to right there, and it's 1 ball left to right there, and you can actually good shot.
It's got the double clearance, very nice.
And having someone like me who's not doing the majority of that means the guys can still use their warm up more productively to actually hit balls and see the slopes in action. But yeah, when you go out on a lawn and you haven't played on it for 2 days, just that little aid memoir almost. Should be helpful.
Yep. So in the background during the course of the day, you will see the third, fourth playoff between Australia and New Zealand. We're not covering any of that as such, but you'll get glimpses in the background. And the scoreboard on that lawn 4 is actually quite easily visible for us, which currently has a 4-3-2, because the flags look so similar.
Yeah, red and white, isn't it? Those stars.
It's 4-3 up on there on that lawn 4 in New Zealand.
And this has been a long hoop too already.
Yes.
And we're still really not in a position where we know who's going to win it.
Okay.
Lots of clearing.
Yep, we've got a question from Jane Baharrel. How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, that's right.
Chris, I'm curious to know what you think of Blake's high and fast backswing.
Technically, first time I saw Blake, I really liked him because his backswing was really straight and his ball striking was good. And when you see someone who's 13 and they can hit the ball quite hard, then by the time they get to 17, they're going to be as much power as you can ever need.
Yeah.
In terms of the pace of the swing, I don't like it from a total croquet perspective. So I'm always telling people they should play both golf croquet and association croquet because one helps the other. Yeah. And when Blake's playing well, his fast swing gets in a groove and it's really, really good.
Yes.
Sometimes I think when he's a little bit off, he can have patches where it doesn't quite work, and then it creates quite a weakness. If you can have a slower, more pendulum type swing, which you'd associate more with association croquet,
yes,
but still have power, I think that's optimal. Reg is what we always look at. Reg, he's got a lovely technique, straightforward, straight back, and it's the ability to, he's got as much power as he wants when he wants it, he's got fantastic touch, and just the ability to play a smooth shot from the shoulders is what I would encourage people who are learning the game to try and do, rather than emulate Blake. Equally, when I coach youngsters, and I've been involved in a little bit of coaching of the Kashmir boys, so Levi's one of those. They all started and they held the mallet the wrong way round, so they were right-handed and they had their left hand at the bottom. I don't tend to alter natural techniques. If you look at things like cricket, some of the best cricketers in the world have had unusual techniques, and that can be an advantage as much as a disadvantage. So allow people to do what comes naturally to them, and Blake's done very, very well, and the key to me is his positional play is better than it used to be.
Yes, which is interesting because he looked a little casual in his last positioning ball with yellow in it. He drifted away down the slope and went past the hoop. But
World Championship, that was what differentiated his previous form level. He obviously shot incredibly well all week, but his ball was in front of the hoop all the time.
So there's still a lot of interplay at this hoop. It's actually a little bit similar to how they started against Australia in the doubles. I think I was on there at one stage and said I'd been doing a bit of a cowing analysis, and they were 59 strokes to make hoop 2.
Wow.
And in the next game, in the 59th stroke, they ran hoop 9.
Right. That shows you the different
Yes.
types of game that can... And this is unusual at this level, isn't it? To have three balls this close to a hoop. It's quite unusual.
Absolutely.
Red's the runner. Yellow's open on blue.
Mm-hmm.
I would anticipate black getting rid of red.
Yes.
Just to try and neutralise the hoop again. But it looks like he's going to try and cut rush the yellow a long way away. Hitting it on the left-hand side. This is a more difficult shot than clearing red.
Yeah. No, he's clearing red.
No, that's the neutral shot.
So sometimes we do have a little bit of that optical illusion. We're not quite sure. We're occasionally we'll assume a shot when in fact they're shooting a slightly different line.
That's a perfect shot from Blake. He's got his hoop position now.
Yes.
The Egyptians will not play blue at yellow. They'll play blue to block between yellow and the hoop, and they'll expect black to clear.
It's a nice,
Lovely.
Oh, very nice.
Not sure it's got the block, but Ben can just clear it.
Yes, indeed.
When I play with Jenny, we do a lot of this, where my ball gets in position and the opponents take position, and then Jenny clears the ball in position.
Yep.
And then whenever they miss effectively what's going to be black at yellow, I get my hoop shot. The difference being I'm normally 2 or 3 feet in front of it rather than 2 or 3 yards in front of it.
That's right. Okay, so we'll get a good look at the line of this shot here. It's a nice steady pace. I mean,
He might have got close to the block.
he may have. We can't get a different perspective by looking out there.
He's got
fortunately.
about 2/3 of a ball to shoot at. I do not want to let Blake have a go at this hoop.
No,
If
he's
I've got
coming in though.
if I've got 2/3 of a ball, I'm shooting at yellow.
Yep. That's all.
It's a good shot, but it hasn't got the block.
That's right.
And he, in the Worlds, he was 9 out of 10 at this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Less
nice.
convincing. It took a little bit of wire and got through. And he's probably only been about 7 out of 10 this tournament at those. But 2-0. Sorry, 1-1. That fantastic hoop one from Yasser. And that's really good.
So Gary Phipps has said he's having to drive to Perth and wants to know whether he should put music on or listen to the stream. I think listen to the stream, Gary. Something matter with you?
What I haven't seen enough of this tournament is the first ball to a hoop getting position, and if it stays there, it then running. And that's been one of the main reasons why hoops have taken longer than normal. The first ball hasn't always got position,
Yes.
and that just extends the hoop. It's a very good blue Khaled's played in.
It is a very good.
Blake will now shoot.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of games at the Cowing analysis while I've been here because I've been doing other stuff.
Yeah.
But the ones that I have done backs up exactly what you've just said. There was very few five shot turnarounds of hoops, which is first ball in position and everything happens and then ball runs.
Yeah.
In that second game we were talking about, yesterday there were some, and there was a string of them actually, which was unusual.
And I think at this level, the players ought to be doing it 9 out of 10. If you get first play at the hoop and they miss you, you should run that hoop 9 times out of 10.
Yes. Which is not what's happened here. We've got a fair bit of wire and it's bounced back again to a friendly position, but it's cannon fodder.
Looks to me as if red's open on the hoop. If it misses fractionally on Ben's left, he might flick the blue and get a reasonable result.
Yep.
But he's going to take the hoop on here, I think.
Oh, for sure.
No, that's a bad shot.
Yeah.
You expect red to be within a couple of yards of the hoop if you miss it, and he's lost it to the peg.
Yeah.
And black will now try and take wide position from red. Not taking the option of nudging blue, because blue's fine as it is.
Oh, indeed. When there's no benefit.
No. So he hasn't managed to get black wide from red.
It's not.
So chance for the Americans to hit their way back into the hoop.
Winding up as he does. And clanks it out cleanly.
I think to actually swing that quickly requires a certain level of muscular power.
Oh, absolutely.
I think a lot of ladies who play would struggle to actually do that physically. So it's not something I would coach. But I always thought he was a good ball striker.
Yeah.
Despite having what I would regard as not a flat backswing. You know, he comes up back past the horizontal. I was always working on as flat a swing as I could get. He hasn't got a flat swing, but he does time the ball very, very well.
Yeah. Okay. Blue's back. Red at black. Yep.
Got it on the wrong side. Would like it either in the middle or on the left.
Something that Robert Fletcher does very well is to get his ball in the reverse of what Ben's just achieved there.
Yeah. I mean, I've been mentioning how well Yasser's played. I think he lost 7-2, 7-2 when he played Reg. And this is the first tournament, in my opinion, in 2 years where Reg has found what I regard as his normal standard of play.
Yeah.
He's sort of dropped off over the last couple of years, and this tournament, as it's gone on, he's really started to look like a world champion again. And I think that's great.
It is.
I think it's really good. This sport isn't all about 18 to 25-year-olds playing well. People can still play well in their 50s and later.
Yeah.
Stephen Milliner, a couple of years ago won most of our golf croquet tournaments, and he was about 69 or 70 by then.
Yeah.
So you can play and you can compete without being able to thrash the ball at 100 miles an hour all the time, with good positional play and good tactical choices.
Yep. Yeah, I think Reg has been a perennial number one, and he's currently ranked about 22, I think.
Yeah, which is correct on these last 2 years of form. So just asked whether they can mark and wipe away some debris on the blue. Going to take the hoop on. This is much more tricky than the first one he missed, which was dead straight in front.
Yes. And fortunately for us, we're going to get a very good line of it.
Left-handed Irish. The hands will probably move down the mallet before he strikes it. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, well done.
Much better.
2-1 to Egypt. So it's gone with serve so far,
It has,
hasn't it?
yep.
The Egyptians meant to win the odd-numbered hoops, and the red and yellow meant to win the even ones.
We did talk about that in an earlier game, and why don't all games finish 7-6?
And these transitions, first of all, you get the short transitions from 4 to 5 and 6 to 7 and 10 to 11. But equally, you get the odd-numbered hoops running in front of the even-numbered hoops,
Yes.
and that's an opportunity to break as well.
Yep.
So either the short transitions or the long ones, they're always providing opportunities.
So it's slightly deceptive on our screen there that black wasn't stuck behind the hoop. It can easily come down on the inside there. The slope's not helped that though.
No, it's angled. I don't think red will clear black if it's left there. I think red will just take the hoop on. This is very hard.
Yeah, yellow came in quite hot again, like he did at hoop 2. Hit the hoop leg and bounced to the side.
Yeah.
It's not really what he was looking for, obviously.
Every time you play a positional shot and you're a non-runner,
Yeah.
it's like missing a 7-yarder.
Yeah.
Khaled's just going to restalk this. Some people
something is
moving in
striking.
the background.
There's not really much scope for people to move in the background there because that's the clubhouse wall.
Yeah.
So it could only really have been a referee or hoop setter or Ben.
Scorer.
Well, the scorer's off to the side, so they shouldn't be out there either.
So Blue at red. Might have a double. No, it's a super shot.
Yep.
Hasn't blocked red at black,
No.
but really good to get those clearances under your belt early in the match. It gives you so much confidence.
Yes. Blue has gone into a nice forward play position. If black had been a good runner and wide from red, it would have been a fantastic result. But
I thought it was runnable, but by the look of it, they're just playing to the side, so it's obviously very difficult.
yeah, I don't think it is runnable. Hello. Probably. Do you have been putting red there or pushing that up a little bit further?
I will want red to be a runner there.
Yeah.
This is just going to be a clearance where both balls are going to go off the lawn. Yasser isn't going to try and hit it in the middle and stay there.
No.
He'll try and hit it half ball on the left. There we go.
Yep.
That's exactly what he's tried to do. Yellow should take position a little bit on the western side, because you don't want blue to be able to hit yellow and going off.
Black.
Black, thank you. Yes, black. But that's perfect where he's put it. It's just that half a ball on the far side of the hoop.
Yep.
Again, the Egyptians don't tend to clear these. They'll just take
he's
position.
coming.
Red will shoot at blue. Black will shoot at yellow.
Yeah, looks a good weight. It's curling a little. Pulling up a little. Might be running a bit slower there where it's still shady.
And it's uphill as well. So
Yes, it's not a huge hill, but it is significant. It needs to be allowed for.
yeah. But I have this as advantage USA because their ball's close to the hoop.
Yep.
They've both got clearances, and to be honest, the Egyptians' clearance is shorter than Ben's. But I'm a lot more confident Blake's going to run the hoop with yellow than Khaled is with blue. That's a good shot.
Yeah, very nice.
And I like the pace Ben hit that. He didn't hit it in the middle, but his ball is still in play.
Yeah, well, I feel Ben always seems to hit at that same pace, though.
Yeah, that's the pace I would coach the in-lawn clearance to be played at. I don't want to hit that hard.
Yeah, okay, we've got somebody in the background again, just getting instructions to move. This is to the inside.
And I prefer Yasser's technique to a lot of the Egyptians who move their hands down, having stalked it. Yasser keeps them in the same position on the mallet, and I think it's better technically. So keeps with serve, 2-all. And this is a short transition.
And also, I think both blue and red are legally over there from red clearing blue.
And blue wants to take position wide from red.
Black was offside, just going back past.
But I would say, despite the fact the Egyptians have first play here, the Americans are favourites. If he's managed to wire that from red, that's perfect. But it's not even a runner. So
yeah, so that's a disappointing shot there with blue.
yeah,
So
good position. You don't need to go 4 yards deep here. You can just take position, guaranteeing that you don't block yellow at blue. Nice straight position. I would play much tighter into the hoop than Blake is doing here. Blake has given his partner a spot sort of 3 yards back. I don't think you need to be that far back. And that's a much better place to put it.
yeah,
I'd have been probably 1 foot closer than that.
maybe Blake's using a bit of psychology and knows Ben's going to undercook it.
Ah,
So give you a deeper spot.
brilliant doubles play.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's certainly some I've done that in the past myself to a partner.
So we're having a steady increase in the people who are viewing at the moment. We're up to 586 which is, I think, quite impressive.
Welcome all around the world. I know it's a good time of the day for the Brits and the sort of Europeans, as well as the Egyptians. So hopefully people are going to stay with us during the day.
Oh, I've got to ask the boss here a question. What is your difference between concurrent viewers and your other viewer? Oh, so it's 214 live.
Yep.
And what's
how many's?
What was the 586 that came
How
up?
many total so far?
Oh, 589. Oh, okay. So 589 is people who've flicked in and out.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
One of the things I think it's worth mentioning is there was a little clip put up, and I can't actually remember whose website it was on, but they put a clip up of Edmund Fordyce running 2 very, very impressive hoops, and Jamie Birch's reaction to them at the end of the match.
Okay.
And it was literally a 12-second clip. I think it's got 1.1 million views on TikTok.
Mm.
So, you know, we're always thinking it's nice to get 5,000 or 6,000 views on these videos. And these are people who've never played croquet. They're watching it and they're going, "Oh, wow, this is quite a skillful game."
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
hey, well, these guys are young.
Yep.
And it's really, really good.
Okay. So it's a good time to watch in Canada, apparently.
Yeah, Canada. Excellent.
But it's midnight in Egypt. Somebody else is.
But at midnight in Egypt, they're still, you know, probably it's dinner time. Well, their playing sessions are probably 7 p.m. to midnight, and the restaurants are still open at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's different culture, different times of day.
And they'll be heavily invested as well.
Absolutely, and I think the Egyptians should be thrilled with their performance here. They've done really, really well. I'm used to the Egyptians playing well in Cairo. They're normally 100 or 150 grade points better in Cairo than outside Cairo. This has been a strong performance. It's a long journey to Tasmania, and they've done really well.
Yep. So a cluster of balls here.
Is this black onto red?
Blue. Blue
Yeah,
onto
black
black
onto
on so
red.
I see what you mean. Yeah, blue onto black onto red.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a
Very
good
nice.
shot. That was a lot more difficult than he made it look. I think Ben will just clear the blue. He could clear the black if he wanted to, but I think he'll clear the blue. No, he's going to clear the black. No, back to the blue.
Back to the blue.
Okay, I think this is the right shot.
Yes.
If he can force the Egyptians to take on a lot of 7-yard hoops, I think that will be in their favour. The Egyptians like building hoops and running them from easier positions than 7 yards away.
Oh,
Very handy.
yes, almost a random in off there.
And the fact he stayed close may now force black to take the hoop on rather than yellow.
Yes.
The downside is it's a stronger player of the Egyptian pair, in my opinion. Yasser.
Yeah. He ran quite a few yesterday from similar-ish positions.
I think he's really good.
No, he's run that one as
That is
well.
a fantastic shot.
Yep.
So, having seen hoop 1 and hoop 5 now from Yasser, I think the Americans now need to change tack. And they need to say, right, we're getting rid of Yasser.
Yep. And
We'll try and put some pressure on Khaled Kamel.
yes.
But early days in the match, there's nothing wrong in forcing your opponent into that type of shot. As soon as they've made it, by the time you're on hoop 7 onwards, you can adapt your tactics, and yeah, we don't want to leave Yasser in front of a hoop again. Has he got the wire? Just drifted left.
Just drifted in a slope, yeah. Okay, Paddy Chapman is asking what balls are we using? No, they're not the Invictus balls. These are the Dawson Mark IIIs.
Yeah, so for the Mark IIIs are the ones with the black circle around the Dawson mark. And yeah, the reason we're using second colours on some of the lawns is they didn't have 8 sets of primaries Mark III. And so we've made sure the Egyptians get to play with primary colours in every match, because they're simply not used to ever playing with secondaries.
Right.
And that's been a very nice concession by the other 7 teams. And I think we probably need to change the WCF regulations to state for future that secondary colours won't be used in the main event.
Yeah.
I think it's okay in plate events where you're wanting to get as much play on as possible, and but in the main event, I think we need, first of all, for the Egyptians to be able to play with primaries, and secondly for the viewers. It's a lot easier for the viewers to follow it if we're always playing primary colours.
Yeah, especially in the shadowy conditions that we've got early in the morning and late in the day with the dappled light.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always the issue of people who may be colourblind who will play.
Yeah, and I'm technically coloured blind, so it's particularly when it gets towards dusk, I really struggle with picking balls out. But I'm not sure what the black's going to do, so I think blue's going to have to shoot at red here. All black can do is dribble back through the hoop, and you know, red and yellow are both good jumpers. So he could take the hoop on. It's not an unreasonable thing to take the hoop on, but I think he'll go for red.
Certainly breaks serve if he does take the hoop on.
No, he did take the hoop on.
Yeah.
That had an interesting. I still think black was good enough. He could have taken on red, and black dribbles through, and it's not too bad a position.
Forces yellow into a much longer jump. They want to do that.
Yeah.
Having said that, having missed the hoop but nicked black out, has that actually helped black or not?
Well, it's red to play next. Red's just got a
No,
straight
of course,
hoop.
yes, sorry,
so
my mistake. Go with the sequence, that would help.
the downside is by flicking off black, blue's gone offside, rather than if he'd have just missed the hoop, I think he would have gone onside. So a little bit unlucky maybe there. You normally run these firmly. That's a good shot. It's much better to clear the opponent from 7 from the end of B bulk than it is from just through hoop 6, because you've got a chance of hitting it on the right hand side and moving it much further away from hoop 7.
Yes.
So Ben throws Khaled his ball over to the penalty spot, and Yasser's aim is to get position but err on long.
And he's got
Perfect.
Yep, absolutely.
Dead straight.
Yep. Staying on serve though.
And the players I've seen so far this tournament have shot yellow at black on the basis that if you miss, you're still in front of the hoop.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is very much down to personal preference. If I've got a partner come up to me and say, I'm all over black with red, you take position. That's what I want to hear my partner say. I'm going to hear clear black on the right-hand side. You just take position, partner. But it looks like Blake's shooting. Interesting, we haven't got any extensions on the peg, because you don't need them at golf croquet. So the players have never had to take an extension out. But he has got a, yeah, you can see he's just flicked the peg.
And he's back on, yes.
And
So he's now...
opted to take position.
Yep.
Don't block it, it's a good shot.
Yep, no, very nice.
I think had the peg not been in play, he'd have gone for the clearance. But that's it, it's a very good yellow.
I think it's 6-5 in the background there to New Zealand.
That's not a bad shot from the penalty spot. That's a runner. Perfectly good shot. So can Ben take this half ball on the right and get some distance between black and yellow?
Well, he told his partner he was going to.
In the middle.
Yep. Very nice.
That will be open. So I think we are going to see Yasser try and clear the yellow on the left-hand side. It's a good 9 yard of this, though.
Yes. So in the background, while they're just having a wander around, we've got South Africa playing England, and England are 5-0 up in that one.
About time too, that's what I say. About time
Yes.
too.
Well, I seem to recall there were a few similar-ish scores early yesterday, that, but then there was a bit of a fade on.
Yeah.
I don't know, it may have been the day before against Ireland.
I think whilst
I'm
the
mixing up my
England
days.
team haven't played well, their team dynamic's been very good. They've been very supportive, and it's been quite a positive attitude in the house. So there are some positives to take.
Oh, very nice
That
shots
is
I played.
fantastic shot.
Yep.
I really rate this guy very, very highly.
Yes.
He will win a world championship if he keeps playing.
Come back to that. Come back to that in a second, because I'll ask you a question. But before that, so the England team would be in transition at the moment.
In many ways, none of these four have ever played an Openshaw before, and losing players like JP Mobley, our captain, family commitments. We've got to remember this is an amateur game. People have jobs, they've got families, they've got children.
Yeah.
So you can't always play all the time, and obviously Robert Fulford's never been available for our Openshaw Shield team, and Stephen Mullen is now in his 70s and just starting to get a little bit worse. So it is a transition team, and they should have done better. They've underperformed as a team, but that's a sporting thing for you, isn't it? I mean, if everyone played to the same level all the time, it'd be boring.
Well, that's right.
And moving the other side of the world in winter, we haven't really played since October. It's a tough ask when you're playing world-class players. So yeah, a learning experience, and hopefully they'll take something out of it.
Oh, nice
good
hoop,
shot.
nice hoop.
That was very good.
So a good hoop with blue, and a bit deceptive as to where the yellow is stuck behind the hoop. I think it probably isn't quite.
It's not directly behind, but the hill's going to take it away.
It will.
And Ben's going to want to try and get wide position from black. Now, I don't think that's easy.
Oh, yeah, so the other question I was going to ask before when you were talking about Yasser was he played in the last Worlds, and I believe he was carrying an injury, was he?
He injured his hand, and I think one of his fingers sort of swelled up a bit, and it caused him problems.
Yep.
Ended up having to go to the doctor, and I think they did possibly a little slice down to relieve the pressure.
Okay.
But yeah, he did have an excuse there. I think he's a really good player.
Oh, he's definitely been their star performer.
So they just made sure they're all happy with where the blue's been put on the lawn.
Which we can't see, but
I think Ben's gone too far there.
there is.
I think it's open for blue.
Yep, it will be.
Black's in a nice position to come down. It can almost aim just to our right of red, and it will drift to our left of red.
The players were doing this very well yesterday. This one's probably turning a bit early, but he's also hasn't got the pace on it.
That's a weak shot from a length point of view. Good line.
Okay, so yellow has got a little bit better than we thought, but he will turn a bit, but he hasn't put the pace on it, so that's probably not too bad.
Yeah, I think that's a much better shot than Black played. So Khaled's hit his clearance from 3 to 4 very much in the middle. He's now run a very good hoop 7.
He has.
And this shows the difference between the teams. The Americans are going to shoot at red here. And the Egyptians are going to say, hold on, I'm 4-3 up. I don't want to miss red and finish miles away from hoop 9.
That's right.
I'm just going to put the pressure on. And if they fail the hoop, we're going to be 5-3 up soon. If not, we're still fine. We're first ball to 9.
Yep.
Not a problem. And
Bit of
there's
a
that pressure.
rejection off the left leg as we look at it.
So can Yasser clear yellow to wide from blue? Or will he just stop it in the middle and keep both balls in front of the hoop? Keep black and blue in front.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for the second of those options. Let's see. Oh, no.
Poor shot.
Yeah.
I don't think he tried that. I think he would either be trying for the wide position on the south boundary or hitting it in the middle and staying there.
Yeah. Caught between the two.
All Blake has to do is mid-pace, blue off, and it's 50-50 again. Don't want to hit this one too hard.
No, it isn't.
Oh, that's good. So, I'm always taking this hoop on. There's nothing better to do. You don't want to just take hoop position because red will clear you.
That's right.
So this is a free go.
Yeah, it is.
If it bounces off to the short boundary side, it's actually finished somewhere good. The only downside is if it bounces back and leaves red a clearance on it, where red can stay in front, getting rid of blue. But at 4-3 up, this is a compulsory hoop to take on.
Short discussion taking place. We'll walk away and talk about it some more. No.
Important to see communication between doubles partners.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're both happy with the shot. Nothing makes me play a hoop shot better than knowing it's the right shot to take. That's fine.
Yep.
That's almost where you might have chosen to put it if you hadn't taken the hoop on.
That's right. Okay.
This is a dangerous choice. This is a very thin wire.
This
I
is
know
very-
you're not having to move it very far, but if you miss this, you're in a big load of trouble. I'd be more tempted to just clear blue and red off the side boundary.
Looks a little disappointed. I think he's got, well, not perfect, but enough. We'd have to really. Oh, that shadow's making it a bit deceptive as well.
Yeah, I think he's got it.
Yeah,
I think that's hard.
Yeah, I think he has it. Yeah.
So black should take position on the opposite side to red, and probably a little bit deep.
But definitely going deep.
Yeah, that's
yes,
good.
Yes, that's very nice.
That's
yep.
fine. That, by going, it's probably gone a bit deep though. I would have liked. You potentially give blue the option to nudge into wide position. I think the more natural shot with black there is blue will clear yellow.
Yes.
Wherever yellow goes. Red, I think, has a good chance to go really tight into the hoop and block black's hoop in another 3 or 4 shots time, which is why I prefer black to probably be 2 feet closer, force red to clear black.
Yep. Oh, that cameraman was on the bet. He had to go and deal with something, but I can't see anything that's wrong. Maybe there was somebody in the way.
So going back to one of my sort of golden guidelines, it's clear the ball that's just played.
Yes.
And if there are lots of places that Blake can play into here, where blue can just
Absolutely.
stop
yeah.
shot him away again, and that would give black and blue a big advantage. And there is nothing wrong with playing between blue and the west boundary here.
Yeah.
Lots of people at home will go, well, why has he done that? It's nowhere near the hoop. It's because you can't be cleared by blue.
Don't be a target.
And this is bad. That is the worst place
that's
you
terrible.
can possibly be.
He was given a spot when he's drifted past.
Yeah,
So it may not have been the best choice, but it's also not the best execution.
Yeah. I mean, this is just... the Egyptians should be 5-3 up very shortly here. Khaled's going to hit this in the middle, a long way away, stay in front. Black and blue are both in front, and yellow's nowhere near and red's not in front. He's focused on holding blue.
Yeah.
I would have played that to make sure yellow did get to the boundary. Yellow's, can't quite see. It's only gone about 10 yards away. Yeah, that's not really far enough at this level. With black, I'm still with red, I'm still sneaking in front of the hoop with black.
You generate a little bit of hoop pressure. That's all you can do, really.
One of the weaker elements of the Egyptians' game is jumping.
Yes.
And if I get the chance to force them into jump shots to win, I'll be very happy. They are. You mentioned about changes. Thinking back probably 20 years, the Egyptians were positively bad at jumping, and now the younger element have improved.
Yes. Okay, so Reed isn't going to sneak in, he's going to clear.
This is leaving black the hoop, and it effectively says he knows that America are in a weak position here. He's now going to force black to take the hoop. I don't think black is going to do that. I think black's going to stun red away.
Yeah.
Again, this concept of, oh no, they're checking the hoop. I thought black would stun red away here. Asking for it just to be tapped down. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm just quite sure about Yasser's body language on this one. He walked away, not looking unhappy, but just not filling me with confidence that he's actually wants to do this.
Well, so far he's taken 2 hoop shots on, one from 7 yards and run hoop, one from an angle.
Yep.
And then another one from probably longer and run it to hoop 5.
Yes.
And both of them have been perfect strokes. Let's see if he can keep going like that. Okay, watch the Irish grip. Approaches it, gets his feet and shoulders in line, aims it up, maintains the grip and hits it near wire, and it's bounced a long way away. One of the benefits of Atkins hoops, they actually move balls more than a few feet away.
Yes.
And it makes a big difference to golf croquet if you're suddenly 8 yards away instead of 8 feet away.
That's right.
So blue will play in here. They'll leave red the hoop shot, and they'll try and get a block.
So having not been to Egypt myself, they use their own Egyptian hoops still and haven't moved across the quadways?
No, quadways are expensive.
Yeah.
And the Egyptian pound is weak against most major currencies. The Egyptian hoops actually are very good in this very sandy soil. The carrots go a long way deep, and they've got ball boys who smash it in whenever requested.
Yep.
And they work perfectly well in Egypt. So I don't think we'll see the Egyptians getting any different hoops in the short term. One of the main problems Egyptians have is they really do need more non-Egyptian balls out there. So if anyone's listening to this and feeling generous, go and buy a set of balls and Dawson's or whatever, and send it out to Egypt. They're always keen to practice with the type of ball that we're going to play in the World Championship. And obviously it's going to be interesting these next few months where we go. Are we going to go Invictus? Are we going to go Sunshiny? Are we going to go Mark III Dawson? And I'd like to see the WCF take a lead on this and talk to their main members and say, look, we'd like everyone to do this. And nothing's worse than having to change from one ball to another, tournament to tournament. And particularly, I think, when you're playing association croquet. A chance to Ben to square it up at 4-all. Good shot.
Yep, very nice. So Croquet Network is asking, can we get an update on the score from Court 5? Not particularly easily from where we are, unless somebody wants to bolt out there and have a look, or we can pan the camera around.
Yeah, Court 5's not something you can see the scoreboard very easily from either.
No.
So we'll maybe send a runner when someone comes near and try and get an update for you. And this It's a
Very
really
nice
good
shot,
shot
very
from that
nice.
far away.
Oh, actually, we've got we can't see the scoreboard, but we can actually see court 5 all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah, the scoreboard's on the south boundary, so it's really difficult to see for spectators. Really good shot there from Black. And Blake's missed. He's hit a lot of those. And hoop 9, well, I think we've said it before, Marty, it's so important in these matches, isn't it?
Yep.
I'll go and have a look. I'll leave that camera in view.
Okay, thank you. So we've got
That view.
so we've got a runner going to find us a score from court 5. That was handy.
Not bad. It's left a double, so if he misses Black, he might randomly get lucky and hit blue onto Black or cannon off it. And it's not a runner, so it's not a great blue, really. But red will be trying to clear Yasser's Black. In between them. So a good chance to run this up to hoop 10.
Okay, an update from court 5, 6 all.
6 all.
Okay.
6 all.
So Stephen Morgan is sitting out for this test match. So it's Essex.
Yep. Matthew and Tom are playing Mohammed Nas and Mido. Mohammed
Good shot. Didn't try to run it up to 10. The next stage we're going to get to in game development is the top players are going to run the hoop not off the lawn more often.
Yep.
And I haven't seen many players who've been confident enough to run it from 2 yards at 15 degrees with the right pace to get to the next hoop. And that was one of the things I was actually quite good at. Might not have been able to do some things, but that was part of my repertoire, was running hoops up to the next hoop. This is a good effort.
Some very nice yellow. Well, it
Yeah,
appears
that's
to be.
why that's really good. He's got half a ball black at yellow.
Oh.
Maybe even only 40%. And the hill works against the shot. So it's a good yellow. It's also on the short boundary side. So if blue plays in anywhere to the west of yellow, there are danger signals going out, because red can then take wide position from black. Black can't do anything. And yellow can clear blue, getting to 11. So very sensible. That's a good line of play. I know you're going to look at it and go, well, it's not really very much in front, but they're protecting their 5-4 lead. They're thinking about hoop 11 while playing hoop 10.
Yep.
It's got the other match 5 up on the top left-hand corner.
Oh yes. Okay, so we've split screened a little bit to try to get you the finish of the other doubles where it was 6 all. Red's coming in. While that's happening, pros are up on lawn 4. Looks like Australia might have turned that around at the very end and got a 7-6 win. Probably need to get that confirmed.
Just going to put a ball in, force yellow just to run the hoop. Don't want to get in the way of blue getting over to 11.
So it looks like Matthew's got first ping at 13 on the other line.
Played it.
Yeah, good
has
shot.
got it.
Game
So,
1 to America there.
Yep.
Good shot from Blake.
Yep.
5 all here. So we're still on serve, aren't we?
We
It's
are.
just been one hoop
And
to Egypt, 1 hoop to America each time.
So it was yellow that ran 13 on the other line, so they must have broken serve at some point.
Yeah, that's not in front. So red will now just play deep, probably 4 yards deep, fractionally on the side of blue. Yeah, so we've just said Essex and Balding have won that. And otherwise, in the big relegation match, Juan and Nicholas have beaten Simon and Rob 7-4 in the first game, and Begonia and Julian have beaten Kieran and Mark 7-2. That's a big win, that 7-2. Mark's probably one of their better players. So great start for Spain in the relegation match. Thanks very much. Good, Black.
Spain have charged it out there in the first games. Still got to finish the matches. I think England have had a 7-2 in the background there in their first game.
Yeah.
So results starting to appear on boards around the place. Finished results.
Now, I'm not actually sure what Blue's going to do here. If it was me, I would play the snuggle.
Yeah.
It's a tough shot because it is going to hill a little bit from right to left, but it's a complete winner if you get it right.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I've seen more snuggles during this week than I expected to see, and most of them have failed, except for Reg trotted them out quite regularly and successfully early on.
I got everyone I took on our practice sessions when I had a couple of games against our team. So I do think they're very playable. It's a predictable hill, even-paced set of lawns. He could just clear yellow. That's a sort of neutral type of shot. He could clear red to a position where it hasn't got a double target. But I do like this snuggle.
Yep.
Black's so good that if you get it right, Black should run down to hoop 12, shouldn't it?
Okay, so kicking the dirt off the ground in front of the blue ball where he did, that indicates he's not doing that.
I think he's trying to get in the jaws. That looked really difficult from me. Blue was well over hit to 11 anyway. It's not a 45-degree hoop, it's a 55-degree hoop. The hill helps him. He can aim into the far wire and it will fractionally drift in. But this is more about pace than direction. You have to dribble it at the right pace, I think.
Yeah.
He's not going to take it on hard, surely not.
I hope not, and he certainly wouldn't want to stagger through with Black not able to get down to the next hoop. He's pace off.
So Whipple.
And he's,
no, not got it. And now we'll see a power clearance by red, and yellow will take its hoop on. I'm not entirely happy with that as a choice of play.
Yeah. Not a fan. Okay, so Jane, you're asking lots of questions, and YouTube Sports Live man here, Happy, has answered correctly. The loser of the Spain Island is relegated and goes down to Tier 2. That's in, I presume, 4 years' time.
So it's 8 years, isn't it? If they lose today, it's 8 years before you can possibly get back into this competition.
You're out for 4, and then you have to wait for the next 4 when you reappear, yes.
And you've got to win that.
Indeed.
Division 2 and Division 3 taking place in England this summer.
Yeah, August, I think, isn't it?
I think that's about right.
Yeah, I know. I saw a team list put out the other day, but of course it was just alphabetical, so I don't know who was in Tier 2 and who was in Tier 3. Obviously Canada was the top of the list, alphabetically. I think Mexico won Tier 3 and got promoted to Tier 2 last night.
Yep. It's a very good shot with Black, but he hasn't got the block.
No.
So if Blake can run this...
Sticking with the plan. Yellow to run. And
good shot.
Does. Yes, and he's very happy.
It's a big shot. Whilst Black was in really good hoop running position, if Blake runs it, it's now struggling to get in front of hoop 12. So Khaled has to play the good shot. Nice shot. And at that distance and range, I'm completely happy to smash it, because running the hoop is absolutely critical. Off the south boundary, I don't care.
Doesn't matter yet. Yeah.
It's the shorter, straighter hoops. So I think I'd like to see a little bit more improvement among the top players.
You happy with blue? Looks fine, but maybe a bit closer would have been nice.
Yeah, for me, I want it closer. Ben's played a good shot.
That's a good shot. Yep.
It's close to blocking, and it hasn't blocked Blake shooting at blue if he wants to.
Absolutely. And Blake's not doing a whole lot from where it was.
Trying to just hill round.
Yeah.
Oh, he's played it well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good shot. I think Blake will fancy this. He struck it well again. I mean, one of the things I like about Blake, other than he's just a really good ball striker, is he plays quickly. He's good to watch. And, you know, if we're going to build our TV audience, we want fast players. We want it to be exciting.
Yep.
So I like that. This will be getting rid of the red ball.
So Tom plays quite quickly too.
He does.
Okay. Blue takes out the red.
And from my perspective here, I'm going to play red into position in a place where black can't stop it away and hold for position. Blue's not a great ball for taking position at 13. And it's almost like protecting your lead. If you can force black to take the hoop on with blue in bad position for 13, you're in a good position. Yellow is obviously offside. But blue's a long way away. I think that's the right choice from Ben.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, nice weight. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I think black will stop this away. Nope, it's the hoop. I'm just trying to have a look at whether blue's got any level of block with red in the way, and I think it's wide enough that red is nowhere near.
So Yasser's batting 100% from further out than this. Ooh, put the mockers on him, that's the spirit.
Looks very angled where it's bounced back to. So yellow plays in. Blue's going to be forced into shooting at red. I'm surprised they took that on with the ball positions as they were.
Yeah.
I just thought that stun away was very playable. Particularly 6-5 down, obviously. I've no problem with black taking the hoop on if it's for the match there.
Quite a casual shot.
It's not great, that yellow. Asking a referee for some relief. As you can see from where Khaled's standing, if he stands there, he's going to be not flat. And you don't need a lot of relief. 6 inches is enough to allow you a flat stance. And there's nothing in the way, so it should be a straightforward matter. The referee will say, yep, you can move it in, and the referee can just say it's non-critical, just pop it in yourself, no problem. And that's fine, and go back and it'll restalk. Right in front of our commentary position here. Nope. So it looks like game 1 going to the Americans in both of the doubles.
Yes, it does. It's not done yet, but it should be. looks fairly trivial. We've got a finish in the distance there on court 6 between Australia and New Zealand, but once again I don't exactly know who was playing which balls.
The scoreboards are excellent, aren't they?
Oh, they're very good.
You can see the score from a long way away, and you
Absolutely,
can just
you
see
can.
who's playing which ball, and you
Yeah.
get the score very quickly. Well
So
done.
they're, well done, Ben. So yeah, that's the first game. Yeah, so they're flying little flags above each scoreboard on the side of the respective team.
So it's
But
usually
you need a bit
obvious.
of you need a bit of wind, so they'll flatter a bit.
Yeah.
And of course, Australia and New Zealand flags do look extremely similar. Yeah, there's nothing obviously showing over there on 6. I'm sure somebody will bring us a score at some point.
Yeah.
Or, of course, people at home can look on Croquet Scores if there's already something in. Oh, that's a bit better. Well, you panned in, but did you get enough? To see, still can't tell.
Straight on the left. Star on the bottom left.
Can make out a Union Jack. We need, can't tell if it's a red star or a white star or a big
Looks
star.
like
No,
white
it's
on the red.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
so it's
So
Australia. It's
Australia
Australia on
won
the right, so
7-3.
Australia won that. Yes, 7-3.
Yeah.
So I think Australia has won the first game on both lawns, and the US first game on both lawns. Spain was first game on both lawns.
We've, I mentioned in the preamble that I thought the Hoop 12, Hoop 13 were going to be critical.
Yep.
That was Yasser and Khaled being 5-4 up
Yes.
and losing 7-5.
Mm-hmm.
So the first bit of battling through the corner, 10, 11, 12, has gone to the Americans.
Yes. And 11 was the hoop, wasn't it?
Was the turning point, yeah. And it was that shot neither of us liked from Khaled, trying to dribble into the front from an acute angle.
Somebody called Banana Fritter. Good Lord. What is the player feedback on the lawns? Well, it depends on which players you ask and
Yeah.
at what time you ask them.
I've heard that the Australians weren't very happy with the hoops. They thought they were a bit wide and not set very well. I have to say that's the opposite to my own perception and probably the England team. They thought that they were.
Well, I'm not going to agree entirely with that. I know they weren't happy that the hoops weren't being not reset, moved as often as they ought to have been.
Right.
I won't venture any more than that.
Okay. But yeah, from my point of view, I've enjoyed this. The lawns have got faster as the event's gone on. The hoops have been well maintained by the referees. Possibly, maybe should have been moved before the semi-finals. I thought they were meant to be moved before the semi-finals.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when this came up, the quick read of the event regs said that they should have been moved at the end of the block
stage.
and before
Yeah.
the final. Yes,
That was
so-
the initial intent, I know that. And I watched the start of the semis, and I was obviously watching the England team as well, and the hoops sounded much firmer on the semi-final lawns than they did on the plate lawns.
Okay.
So I'd made an assumption that they had been moved. They'd certainly been firmed up better than the plate lawns had.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fairly sure they weren't moved. They were firmed up though. yes.
Okay. Well, that's obviously not ideal. You do want the hoops to be moved after the block stage.
Yeah.
Good
There was
shot.
some discussion that there wasn't enough mowing.
Just want a drink?
Not right. That there wasn't enough mowing done. I think the intention at the beginning of the event was the mowing was done on the days it was going to be done. But somewhere along the line there might have been a miscommunication where someone had said they were mowing every day, which was not the case.
Yeah, I know we had some late finishes, didn't we? So it was
Yeah,
impossible to mow You know,
Yes.
if it finishes at 8 o'clock and it gets dark at 8:15. I used to have lights on my mower at United, so I could mow in the dark. But ideally, you know, these guys are volunteers, and you know, you don't want to be spending a long time at the club every single day. I know Peter gets here at 7:15 every day, and I've had emails from him at 11 o'clock at night. It's a long day. I managed over 50s in Perth, in Bunbury last year, and geez, I think 4 of the nights all the restaurants had shut by the time I had a chance to go home.
Yes.
So it is a long day, and the volunteers have done really well.
Yeah, you can always look back and say we could have done things a little better, but you know, it is a learning process as well. It's a bit tricky when the learning process means you've got to try and remember the next time you get the event or an event. It might be 8 years.
Always miss that, Matthew. Trying to cut it quarter ball on the right, maintain position. So Mohammed now has the chance to run hoop 3 here.
Yeah, so we've switched briefly to the other match, but we haven't changed the scoreboard, obviously.
Yeah, they're having a break after game 1. No balls played in on our feature match yet.
No.
Nice to watch Mohammed, a lovely, powerful, fast player as well. Can spray it a wee bit, but good to watch.
The shoes must be a personal preference. He must feel real comfortable in them, because I don't see too many others wearing black shoes.
No, he's happy with those. Hasn't got the consistency of direction that an AC player would. So you do see the odd ball spray out in wide matter, but equally, when he's on form, they go absolutely dead straight at Mach 1.
Yes.
I mentioned earlier what a good positional player he was. So yeah, a tough match opponent. This is a free go for the hoop if Matthew wants to take it, or he could just nudge black out of the way and force blue to clear. It's not clear how much of red blue can see. He's not playing at black.
Oh, he's missed again.
2 bad shots on the row. And Matthew's been quite good this tournament.
Yeah.
I felt he was playing as poorly as I'd seen him out at Chesapeake Bay. He looked vulnerable.
Okay.
And normally he's not only just strong, but he looks strong as well. He's a very positive player. So yeah, for me, he'd be one of my top 4 players in the event. Unlucky to clear the black as well.
Yeah.
But good clearance on red. And
Unfortunate collateral damage.
still, the advantage here is to the Egyptians black and blue.
Yep.
The question I'm interested in is Tom going to try and take position, or is he just going to move to a neutral position between the hoop and the corner and say, look, you're not going to be able to clear me very far. I'm going to give my time for Matthew to get his yellow back into play.
Okay, so he has this coming.
Now, that can be cleared a fair distance. I just thought putting that another 5 feet further just made it a bit more difficult. So Mido just playing into position. It's nicely in front, but not blocking red. Matthew, there's an argument he could just shoot at black. He'll still be in front of the hoop if he misses.
Yes.
As long as he can't move red out of the way. Even removing red to a boundary is not a disaster here.
Doesn't feel to me like he is shooting.
No,
It's just
that's
coming
his
back.
Irish grip, so it's positional play.
Also, he's a different gripper.
Absolutely. So Irish grip for positional shots and 7-yarders, and moves to Solomon for power shots.
Okay.
And viewers will have seen the hill goes the opposite way on this lawn, so left to right, as compared to right to left on lawn 3 that we have been viewing on the other doubles. Let's see how Mohammed gets rid of these balls. And yeah, despite the fact he hit in the middle, he got enough power that Red's actually moved to a non-runnable position.
Yep.
Not difficult for Tom now to half ball this and get off the north boundary. On the right hand side, that's ideal. Both balls off the lawn, Red in front of the hoop.
So to finish the comment for Banana Fritter there about the player feedback, there hasn't been a lot of chatter about the slopes because they've been so predictable. Ben did say the other day that the slope on this lawn we're currently watching in 5 and 6 is greater than 3 and 4, and maybe slightly less predictable, but not a major drama. And the outriding courts aren't as good as the ones in the middle by the nature of the venue. The history is back in the day, courts 1 and 2, they weren't there. This was a 6-court venue, and that's where the sea containers were, and they've since been moved. 8 courts brought into play, and the 1 and 2 suffer from the eucalyptus trees sucking the moisture out from underneath them, and they're a bit harder to keep to the same condition as the central lawns. Ooh, okay. So, bit of a lazy shot. Hit the black into the leg of the hoop. Could have been worse.
So, being asked by Chris, I guess it's Chris Barley, but who are my other 3 top players? So, I obviously mentioned Matthew. I like Reg Bamford and Yasser Syed. And my 4th would be Robbie Fletcher, who I don't think's played as well.
No, that's
as
an
he could do.
interesting choice, because before the event, our Australian selection, Robert, Edward and Malcolm were shoo-ins, and there was some debate about the 4th position, and Greg got in ahead of Pete Landreeb and Gary Phipps. But Greg, I thought, has played probably the best, certainly results-wise, of the Australian players.
Yeah, Greg's played very well, and when he played in the MAC in 2017 in America, he played fantastic stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely a big game team player.
Yeah, part of the argument is some of your players don't play enough, and there's always that query. Gary's a really good player. He's a sort of 2400, 2350, 2400 solid golf croquet player. Arguably his top end isn't as high as Greg's.
No.
And I think it's perfectly reasonable to have put Greg in the team ahead of Gary. I'd probably put Gary in ahead of Pete. I think he's more consistent.
That's how it was.
But yeah, for my players, I've left Edmund Fordyce out. Edmund's an unbelievably exciting player to watch. I was thinking more of the solidity that you would get from Bamford. Essex got solidity combined with a sort of interesting peak game. Yasser, I'm a big fan of Yasser.
Yep. I think we all are, and those that weren't are on board. Okay.
And Robbie.
God.
Robbie's played the best croquet outside of Egypt that I've ever seen when he won the British Open, beating Reg 7-0 in the first game. And it was a level I haven't seen outside of Egypt. And they were playing with quadways, so really tough, and it was a great performance. Robbie will be disappointed. He's had the chance to become World Golf Croquet Champion, and I know, a couple of days ago he was thinking that the Australian team were, in a really good position to win this event. So he'll be disappointed that he hasn't added to his McRobertson Shield and Wimbledon Cup victories. But he is sort of the leading player, the most likely player to be the first to achieve the Grand Slam. But some of these events are every 4 years, and time is not a helper. You know, suddenly you find a new group of youngsters coming through, and eventually someone's going to get better than you, probably.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, it's, you know, obviously there's so many variables. You know.
And again, trying to clear that on his left-hand side, and he's gone past it. And now we've got the interesting choice, I think. I think the Egyptians might... I think everyone's going to take the hoop on here, actually. It's not... Clearing black's not good, because you're going to leave yellow north of the hoop. So I think everyone is going to take the hoop shot on here. I've got the balls wrong. It's not yellow to play, right? So it's black to play. It's red to play and clear black.
I'm a bit distracted trying to figure out what the hell that comment is about. WNH says, I'll buy 3 bits of jewellery from you, Chris. Is this some sort of private joke, or am I missing some
might be
point?
Chris Barley or the other Chris. But it's nothing to do with me. So Ben, getting rid of the black.
Yeah, it does.
Nice shot.
Yep.
2 choices here for black. You can play back in tight and let yellow take the hoop on if you don't get the block, or you can have a go at yellow on the basis that you're going to be on the south boundary anyway.
Yeah.
I think the Americans tend to shoot at yellow and the Egyptians tend to play in here. Got the hill there.
Well, apparently you are the jewellery salesman. WNH now says, I would buy the jewellery. Well, he didn't say this bit. He'd buy the jewellery because somebody else asked for 3 top players, and you named 6. I'm not quite sure what he's going on there.
Okay, so
let that go through to the keeper.
Yeah,
Right.
Bamford, Essex, Yasser, and who was my other one?
Robbie.
Robbie. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, Bamford and Fletcher.
Yeah, so you had 1 and
Essex
you were asked
and
to name
Yasser.
3 more. Yeah, we say that's the 4. Okay.
Lovely hoop from Blake. Makes him just look easy, doesn't he? And that's so much more difficult than he's made it look.
Very nice.
So immediate break for the Americans. They've taken play to hoop 1 from the Egyptians, and their game up. Going to start putting them under a bit of pressure now.
Not bad. He's a bit further back than he would like it.
And there's an argument that he's deliberately played a bit further back.
Staying out of the line of fire of yellow. But
Yeah.
looks all right.
It's lovely.
Yep.
That is a super
That is
shot.
Oh, it's excellent.
Quite rightly given away from his partner there. Yeah, if your partner can keep putting these balls into great positions, you just stress the opponents out so much. And Blake's happy taking on clearances like this. He's not going to hit every one, but even if he hits it quarter ball, it's going to go a mile away. That's rushed it to corner 4. And one of the things I've noticed since I started playing again is my power's just gone completely. I can't play the shot that Blake's just played there. I might rush it to the peg. And he's got it an extra 50 yards further, and it's a huge difference. I could probably hit it about that distance when I was playing at my peak, but now all that power's gone. And the difference of this being double the length is massive in terms of how likely Khaled is to hit in.
That one. I'm impressed with the Egyptians' general play, given how many moving parts there are in their swing.
Yeah, no, they're very good. Technically, I don't think they're as good as a lot of people who are coming from an AC base. But what I've been wanting from the England team is when they've sort of won a hoop, like Blake did with that power clearance,
Yep.
I've wanted to make sure that the ball in front of the hoop always runs. And Ben, from here, I'm not going to say it before he does it, but Ben from there is always going to run that hoop.
Yes.
Whereas we've been 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet,
yes,
8
that's a
feet
little
back,
further, yeah.
and we've won the hoop, and then we haven't run it.
Yeah.
So, positional play, superb play by Ben, backed up by his partner, who
Yep.
played the what I call the difficult shot, the power clearance,
Yep.
but then the hoops are gimme.
And driving home their advantage to 2-0, following on from the first game win.
Yeah, it's a good start. That was an attempt to clear the black, on the basis that if he missed, Blake's still in a runnable position, but he's missed his clearance.
Blues on Struggle Street, that's well short.
Yeah. He'll have been deliberately trying to be short to block red at black, but you want to be short and still runnable.
Yes.
Again, it's the uphill approach, this. These balls are going uphill from hoop 2 to hoop 3. Like Australia have got a 3-1 lead
Yeah, they have.
on lawn 4. 3-2 now. Good hoop from Logan.
And 1-1 on the other lawn. So, 6.
Okay, they've missed that.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I'm interested in what pace he's going to hit this at. Is he going to just run it off the south boundary, or is he going to try and get in front of hoop 4? It's not short, but it is straight.
Ooh. Okay. So he's made 3 nice hoops from further back, and he's bombed a couple from closer in.
Yeah, Blake's going to want to take this hoop on, and I think we're going to find more cautious lines of play from the Egyptians than this, but the Americans are going to want to take lots of these hoops on.
Yep, he's hit the other leg, bounced the other way.
It's a good place to finish, short boundary side.
Okay, so the black rejection, I was going to say, it's a bit deceptive, but I was wondering if blue was going to bunt black there, but clearly that wasn't on the same line as it looks on the screen. So just a sensible blue in front.
Yeah, I'm expecting red to play in front as well, and then blue to try and get, black to try and get position, blocking yellow at blue.
Okay.
It's not easy for yellow to clear blue all the way, let's say, into corner 2.
No.
So it's not got a very easy clearance. So I think that's the reason
Red's shooting.
red's shooting at blue here, yeah. I think this is a perfectly good choice.
For all of the more novice players at home that might be watching, Ben's very disciplined there. He's didn't like something, so he's pulled out, gone back and restalked.
And the other thing you'll notice is when he strikes the ball, he keeps his head down very well. Missed that. Now, there's no actual need for black to play the block on blue anymore. Black can simply take 2-foot position and say, well, yellow can only clear one of you, and red's actually gone a long way away. So just popping black to 2-foot position is completely legit now. And if they do that, I think yellow will clear black and let blue have a go at the longer although straight hoop.
Yep. So for people back in WA who've been in the development squad, this is playing the triangle. Just put the black in front. Give yellow that dilemma.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 balls in front. And if you're left in this position, don't just clear the blue because it's the next ball to play. The key is black is going to run the hoop, and blue might not run the hoop.
That's right. Now, this is interesting because this is another option, is to try and pull off some sort of block, but they don't work.
Oh.
So now he's gone back to the original plan now.
Yeah, I want to clear black here. Yeah. It's a good shot. He's got it, the north boundary for himself. If his partner can actually... they're taking this on, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Khaled's less likely to run
definitely.
this.
He was a little shaky earlier on. Yeah.
He's run a couple of good sort of 20, 25 degree hoops. He's been a bit less good at hitting them dead straight when they're straight in front.
Okay. Appeared to have been distracted by something in distance. He's also shown discipline, gone back, restocked. No, still not happy.
It's a really important shot. The game down 2-0 down.
Yeah.
And this is a chance to, you know, potentially get down to hoop 4. It's the short corner. They can be 3-2 up in 5 minutes here. But he's got to run the hoop. Shot.
He's got it. Oh.
It's flicked off the right hand wire of hoop 4 and it hasn't gone off the lawn.
No.
So it's a real threat to red. And red's not in a good position to approach hoop 4 and get the wire. So it's actually an immediately strong position for the Egyptians at hoop 4. There's an argument that red should play out towards the boundary here, so blue can't clear it a long way away, and just accept a more neutral position because you're in a weak position straight away.
Okay. Well, that was about a little bit of confused looking conflab in the middle of court. I don't think. Because red's nowhere near. Oh, it's over there, yeah.
It didn't go through the hoop.
It was a double, wasn't it? It was a double.
Oh, okay, so...
No, can we have a replay of that? I thought it's flicked the outside of the wire.
Oh, it was a double.
Yeah, let's have a look.
You watch. Goes on the inside.
Oh.
Can I see that again? I think it's the outside again. They've obviously got a much better angle than I have.
Absolutely, but there wasn't the enthusiasm from the crowd you would have expected when that happened.
I don't think that... Well, he did have a much better angle than I did. Watch it again.
Can you slow that?
Can we slow it down?
Bang, in.
Oh, okay. It might have gone through.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay.
All right.
So that was what the conflab was about.
Okay. Well, that's a great way to come back quickly, isn't
Glad I
it?
followed it.
Okay, 2.
Super power.
Yep. It's been a magic couple of minutes for him.
think they'll want to get rid of black here. It's a tough hoop shot, but I don't really want to give Yasser that shot.
Yeah. I'm just going to come in though. Looks like it's not going to get. Oh no, has got a bit of steam at the end, but still no, hasn't got there.
My problem with this is you've given Yasser a choice. He can either try and run the very difficult hoop, or he can stun red away, moving to the opposite side of the hoop from yellow.
Take control, yep.
And it's...
Which he's going to do.
Yeah, you don't want to leave black so yellow can clear black easily.
Cool.
I'd have tried to move it to the eastern side of the hoop rather
no,
than that.
Absolutely agree.
It's not great yellow clearing black and finishing the wrong side, because blue can finish wired from it, but if he hadn't quite got that right, there would have been some wide areas yellow could go in. That's a sound choice. It's fairly neutral again, isn't it? That's short.
Well,
that's a bad shot.
Very, very bad.
So there was a very small advantage to Egyptians prior to that, and now it's swung back in favour of America. They're going to get 2 balls in runnable position. Got a few wasps around this area, haven't we?
Quite a few. Yeah, they're not native wasps. They're the introduced European wasp, and they do like food and drink.
I think one of the players, I think it was Mohammed Naz, got stung yesterday, and I don't know whether it was a wasp or whether it was one of your jack jumpers.
Jack jumper ants, yeah.
But I think Mohammed's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, most people don't have a drama with either. It's just the odd person who has anaphylactic shock.
Yeah.
Because they have an allergy they didn't know they had or didn't bother to tell people they had. I think Matthew Essick had an ant bite earlier in the week. But we've dodged a bullet on most of that sort of stuff. And the jack jumper ant is a endemic Tasmanian thing. So the rest of Australia is much like the rest of you, doesn't know anything much about it. We have our own different nasty ants, but not that one.
I call that a green ant.
Yeah, fire ants, green ants. The really big ones they call itch ants or inch ants because they're an inch long.
Fails to get the block with blue.
Yep.
Red will take the hoop on. He's got the option of clearing blue, but I'm anticipating the Americans being positive and taking hoops on when they're around. They've already seen Yasser run a long hoop 5 in the last game. They don't really want to clear blue and look to have a strong position and then Yasser run hoop 5. But they are discussing this, so that the more discussion you get, the more likely a pair is to take the cautious option.
268 viewers. Okay.
Yes. Looks like blue to me, this.
Yeah, red's clearing blue. Oh, I think he was trying for the very straight in off, and he nearly got that. But nearly is not good enough.
Yeah, I think Yasser will take the hoop on.
Yep. Again, that walking is deceptive, but feels to me like he's shooting at yellow.
He is. A little bit more angled than the last one he ran, but I thought he might take yellow on.
Okay, so he's got distance on yellow, but he's flashed off to the boundary himself.
Yeah, so USA remain strong favourites for the hoop.
Yep. a look around the background while they walk up there. 5-2 to Australia in game 2. 2-1 to Australia in game 2, having won both of those first games. Ooh, Max just died. It's not a runner, it's a jaws.
Jawsable,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's runnable. So blue wants to play into a jumping position range. Tough to do from the north boundary.
Yes.
And the hill's not going to help him.
No, and he's got a reasonably good weight, but he's well off to the side, and the hill hasn't helped us.
And Ben will promote this yellow now.
Absolutely, yep.
He won't just. I don't think he'll just nudge yellow in front. I think he'll try and make sure both balls finish in runnable position.
Yep. That's a nice weight.
Yeah, both balls in front. That's very good.
Yep.
So I think even if Yasser manages to clear here, I think we'll probably see Khaled end up trying to run the hoop. This is a really strong position for red and yellow. Yeah.
That's a good look at his swing here from the side.
No, you can see that came off the right straight away. Didn't really take advantage of that double hoop run and the power clearance.
No, that's right.
But they're back in the game now. And I'd like to see Blake run this up to hoop 6.
Yes, and he
has.
has.
Fantastic.
Oh, yes. Yep, no, that's excellent.
That's a really good shot.
Yep.
And he's in. Ooh, yeah, he's still in a runner position.
Yep.
I want to see more of that.
Mm.
If you can get a player who can power clear as well, as a lot of these players can, if they can add that shot to their repertoire, then they're coming into your top 2 or 3 players in the world.
Yep. Wise words. There you go, viewers. That's what you can practice.
Ben here shaking his head a bit, talking to his partner, so I'm not sure what he's got in terms of any sort of shot on blue. There's no need for him to shoot, he just needs to take position here. America are completely all over this hoop because of Blake's excellent hoop shot. He's managed to block the shot. That's the last place he wants to be.
Finish, that's right. I mean, yellow will just clear blue, but it's a bit of a waste there.
Yeah, it gives Yasser the opportunity to play in.
Yes. That was their first look in the background there at Lawn 1, and it looked like it might have been 1-0 South Africa after winning the first.
That's Reggie's match. Reggie's done very, very well all tournament. And great to see him playing back close to his best.
3-3 on the other English South African lawn after the English had won the first.
So just done the blue away.
Yep. So while he's just
Don't-
considering the obvious option, Robert has just run a very angly hoop to win game 2 and the match. So Australia have a match against New Zealand relatively quickly. So Jane, very busy Jane. He's surprised the players and the crowd didn't react more to the 3-4 hoop shot. It's because, well, we didn't even know it had.
I thought it had flicked the outside right hand wire, and even first time I watched the video I also thought that. I could see there was a possibility to run it next time. But yeah, I'd be watching that in slow-mo a few times before I'd 100%. But I'm not in as good a position as Khaled was to watch the shot. But this is a big chance, this shot. If you can hit this and get your ball in front of 7,
Yes.
this is a great chance to turn it round.
And he has hit a red. And
Yeah. Be very happy to have hit it. This is a shot that Ben needs to hit. Otherwise,
absolutely.
what looked like a American lead is going to come back to probably a little bit of a favourite for Egypt. America are going to have to play deep to 7 with blue there. So, can he get rid of this black? Ball barriers have done a really good job this event. They've stopped most of the balls.
Yeah, they have,
moving.
and they've been challenged, particularly by Blake.
Yeah, and there's very little room between the lawns, so we do sometimes have to move it onto a different lawn. But they've done a good job.
Yeah, I was actually a little bit surprised that something wasn't said about how close together the lawns are. I thought there was some sort of regulation about that WCF had.
There is. It's basically allowing you to make the lawns a little bit smaller in order to have room. And it's an interesting choice, isn't it? Do you have a full-size lawn, or do you have one that's maybe 4 feet short and more room between the lawns? And there's pros and cons of both things, but I think this has worked well.
Yeah, it has worked well, yes. It just has meant we haven't had ball barriers between courts, and well, we haven't had too many drums. I'm not aware of anything flying through and actually moving a ball on another lawn. There was one yesterday what Matthew very quickly picked up just in case.
Yeah, good shot.
Nice shot.
So forces yellow to run. I think the Egyptians might.
It's quite a casual stalk.
Yeah, might consider turning that hoop down if they were in red and yellow's position, because blue's obviously over towards 7. Red's a little way away.
So in the video we saw the hoop flex quite a lot when yellow crashed into it. Blue's coming back in. Where exactly did? Oh, anyway.
Oh dear. That's not where you want to be.
So yellow failed into the left-hand upright and has bounced back to a friendly-ish position.
Well, first of all, I think black could have jumped over yellow if blue hadn't gone there.
Yeah.
And secondly, it had the option to clear yellow 1/8 ball on the left into corner 3.
Yep.
Whereas blue has potentially stopped both of those options.
Yep.
I thought Egypt were in a really good position there, but that blue is far from ideal. I don't think Ben needs to move anything here.
No.
Just popping a ball into play that can't be easily cleared.
Okay, so the two guys are down here on the boundary near where we're sitting, so we probably should just be aware of that, because they're having quite a long conversation about what they're going to do. Oh, right, here he comes now.
He's got a very positive stalk on this, as if he's intending to move something.
Yeah, he does. Looks like he's winding up at it. I'm with you. I don't think I'd want to be moving anything.
Well, that is exactly what he wanted to do, and he's done
Picked
it.
off the black beautifully without touching anything else.
I thought there were potential bad outcomes from the shot, but
Well, there certainly were potential bad outcomes, but he managed to avoid it.
a very good shot.
Okay, so everybody's agreeing the position of the ball on the boundary.
Yeah, so Yasser needs to move something here. Yellow's got a straightforward 3-inch hoop for a 4-2 game up lead.
Waving our mallet around a bit. sure what that means, but
I think he says hit the middle of the target. And I don't
Yeah,
care if you
yeah,
move
that's
me.
right, yeah.
Move yellow as well.
yes, which would seem reasonable.
Yeah.
Because he won't have all of yellow, will he, to start with? So he really, that is the ideal place to aim.
Yeah, a quick message came up. If you're a Facebook user, please do share this video. It's a great way to promote our sport. I mentioned the 1.1 million TikTok views we had on that.
Well, that's right, and that's what you want. Get it out there. No, he's sprayed that and it's hit the back of the hoop.
Yeah. Most of Yasser's misses have been on the right, which is an unusual side because he's left-handed, like Mohamed Naz, and Mohamed Naz comes through with his left hand, and most of his misses come on the right because he's wristing it through.
Yeah.
Whereas Yasser, still with the left-handed grip, he tends to push it out to the right. That's his miss.
Okay.
So 4-2. Need a good positional shot with blue. Put some pressure on Blake's clearance. It's gone a little bit too far.
He played it fairly quickly.
It's a runner, but it's not easy to get all the way down to hoop 8. And Blake's telling Ben just to play deep, possibly even off the boundary. No, it's played
will
deep.
be deep, but not off the boundary.
And too long.
Yeah, it is long. Okay.
Khaled giving Yasser the line there, which is a good line. He'll expect it just to break left as it dribbles to a close. That's well in front.
Blake.
He got 6.
The
So it's
Americans
4-2.
got 4-2. So Blake is winding up the shot and has hit.
On the wrong side, and that's why he's a bit annoyed with
yeah.
himself. It means he's put the Egyptians close to the hoop and he's lost his own ball all the way down towards hoop 8. So you're always trying to hit that on the right.
So Blake is quite emotional at times after some of his shots. So is Ewan.
Yeah, there's lots of players who are been geeing themselves up, and I think it's like tennis. Yeah, we get different players, don't you? You look at Borg, McEnroe,
Yeah,
chalk
that's right.
and cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ice cool versus very emotive. Yeah.
Yeah, and they very much split their fan base as well, don't they? Half the people love the cool nature of your Federers and your Borgs, and the other people liked your Connors, McEnroe.
Yep.
And we're all different, that's the truth. We're all human beings and we're all different. So let's embrace it as a positive thing rather than a negative thing.
Yeah, absolutely. The format for the 5th and 6th playoff, somebody's asking. Okay, so we talked about that this morning. So the final, well, the first and second is a best of 13 matches. All other tests are 9.
So today there'll be 2 doubles to start with.
Yes.
And the afternoon session will be a doubles and 2 singles.
Yes.
And then tomorrow it's 4 singles.
That's right.
So that's the best of 9 format.
Yep. Yeah, so you have to get the odd numbered match in there somehow, so they split a doubles and singles round.
Yeah. Good clearance from Ben taking the short boundary again. That will give time for his partner to get that yellow ball back into play.
So there's a little disclaimer as well that because the doubles is prescribed for the extra doubles round, where your number 1 and your number 4 are forced to play together, if both teams, number 1s and 4s, end up playing each other a second time, that can't actually happen. And the first round has to be flipped. So, and that's what's happened this morning. So Rothman and Fields were slated to play Mohamed Nas and Mido, Mohamed Taha, in this round and again in the following round, so back to back. And that can't happen. So this one was flipped, so they're playing the combination of Kamel and Saeed instead.
Yeah, it's a good format.
Yeah, it's entirely sensible. if this occurs.
I think Khaled can sneak past the yellow. I'm not sure whether he's going to take the hoop on or just clear yellow. Wouldn't be surprised to see the hoop being taken on. Red's fairly close by, got a 7-yarder at black. Now go at the hoop. It's not easy for Ben to get black a long way away, which is why the Egyptians have taken that shot almost as a semi-free shot. I don't think Blake can get black a long way away. You need to move it. Obviously, if you cut it on the left-hand side, it could go straight into yellow and stay in front of the hoop.
So Jane says, even the shooter didn't get excited about the double hoop. Well, maybe he does it all the time, so it doesn't need to get excited. Yeah.
And again, that's the justification for the Egyptians taking on the long hoop. That shot was always liable to potentially move yellow out of the way. And black's going to take position, but it's going to take position on the far side compared to yellow, so that when yellow clears it, it can't hold for position. And as we've watched some of the weaker matches, just every now and then, one shot out of 15 or 20, someone misses one of these 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
And that's why I've always liked taking closer position than deeper position. And I just force my opponent to continually hit these 4 or 5 yarders on the right part of the ball.
Yes. Well, as we saw in our brief sojourn across to the other match, we saw Matthew miss that distance twice in a row.
We did. We did.
When you go back that way, can you get an update on that next game for me? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're just attempting to get an update on the other doubles, just so we can keep you informed.
Egypt won 7-5.
Yeah, so game 2. So okay, so we the Egyptians won game 2 7-5 on the other lawn, so that will have squared that one up, and they'll be playing a third game.
And now this is a great chance. I like blue to 1 foot straight.
Yes.
Blue to 1 foot straight puts red and yellow in trouble. Blue not blocking yellow puts red and yellow at an advantage.
So, Khaled burst onto the scene at the recent World. Not knowing much about the Egyptian players, is he a relatively newbie? Or
no, he's been around for quite a while, and always in their sort of, I would say, top 10 Egyptian players.
Okay.
Whenever I've seen him, I've not been as impressed with him as many of the other Egyptians. You know, we played a test against Egypt last year. Oh, well, it's now 2 years ago.
Yep.
And they had really good, strong players. So they had 3 players out of their 5 played fantastically well, which were Yasser, who is watching today, Mido, Mohamed Taha, who's on the other lawn in the other doubles, and then Mohamed Naz, who's again on the other lawn. And they just played lights out against us, and they destroyed us. I think one of them, Yasser beat Jamie Birch 7-0, 7-2. And Jamie walked off and said, well, I didn't really play that badly.
Just a little nibble on the yellow there. It's probably not made a huge difference. Maybe giving yellow a slightly better shot.
Yeah, again, choices. You can take the hoop on, where you can try and take blue on the right hand side so that you clear it and maybe get in off, or at least hit the hoop and stay nearby. So choices for Blake. He's normally positive and goes for the hoop.
Yeah, you don't want to kind of play the spray, do you? But he
There
has
we
run
go.
the hoop. Yep.
That's a huge shot.
Yep. And probably left blue with a slight.
Yeah,
slight
it'll be
stymie
able to
the
hill
next-
round it.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's 5-2. 5-2 is just a big lead. Watch the replay. Lovely shot.
So, Ali Inan. What's the score of the other doubles match? We just gave that a second ago, but in case you missed that, Egypt got game 2, 7-5 for a tie in that match at this stage, so they'll be playing a deciding game. Here it's America have got away to a handy little break again.
Yeah. And I want to go back to hoop 7 because the shot that went wrong was a little one. You were moving your ball 3 or 4 feet, and all you got to do is nudge it in front of the hoop and block Yellow's hoop shot. He didn't get it, and it's cost them the hoop in the end. And these very small shots, which everyone in the world is capable of playing well.
Yeah.
The question is, how consistent can you move your ball to within one ball of where you're trying to from a short space? And if you can get really good at those little shots, you become quite good at golf croquet, providing you can run, 2-yard hoops, 1-yard hoops.
Yep. I'm so glad that you've said that, because I bang on about that back in WA with our squads about, everybody turns up and practices big stuff.
Correct.
Nobody practices the little stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you ask someone, can you block this ball? It's only like a 4-inch tap along the line of, or at right angles to the line of the shot, and they'll go, oh no, the lawn will hill off, I don't want to do this and that. Well, practice it.
Yeah, absolutely. A very aggressive shot by Blake then. He didn't need to take the hoop on, he could just have cleared blue.
Yes.
He's gone for the hoop, and now let's see if Khaled can take advantage and grab a hoop back. Good shot.
Yep, very nice.
So, wasn't clear to me that very long hoop from north of level with the peg was necessary. He could just have power cleared the blue. That's what I'd have been asking my partner to do anyway.
Yep. So as Red's just coming over, just quickly to remind you of who our event partners are. We've got PFC Hoop Mallet winners. Hoop winner mallets, rather. Super Turf Line Marking Systems. Croquet Tasmania, Events Tasmania, City of Launceston. Numerous other sponsors, some of whom have signage around the place. And Banana Fritter is back on here again. What is the next game next match that you are going to live stream? And that is going to be staying on here. No, we'll be crossing to court 5 for Matthew Essick against Muhammad Nas. That's the plan. However, they've gone into a third, or will be going into a third game for their doubles.
But
So-
I think as soon as that match starts, we will cut to that, because there can't be any player out there in the world that doesn't want to watch Matthew Essick play Mohammed Nas.
That's a new stream.
It's just
that'll
going to
be
be...
a totally new stream. Okay, sorry.
It's got everything you want to watch in a game of golf croquet, is that match. And I'm certainly going to be finishing this with a commentary. I'm going to go out and I'm going to sit in front of that and I'm going to just enjoy it.
Good. All right, so while we were yakking, we've had Red come in and clear blue. I'm thinking that's what happened.
Yep. Good chance.
Well, of course, it would have been the other way around. I think blue would have cleared red.
Yeah, good chance here. Just needs to get rid of this black, and then really good opportunity in that 6-3 lead.
Yep, Yellow's in a good running position.
Ben will probably put more into this than his normal clearance. His normal clearance might send it to the peg. He's going to put more into this.
Okay.
And just loses a little bit of accuracy when he puts extra power in.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. Even that sort of fractionally less than half ball contact has moved black 14 yards away.
Yeah, absolutely, yep.
And
So-
Yasser knows if he fails this, he's game and probably 6-3 down.
Yeah, it's nice of the players to hit the balls to easy reference points, like right in front of each hoop. Makes the maths easy. Oh. Blake has gone back to have another look. There's somebody moving around in the background. It might have been one of his own Egyptian players.
That's
Blake
again.
hasn't missed.
Okay, so we'll update you a little bit with some scores from the relegation match. And Juan and Nicholas have beaten Simon and Rob 7-4, 7-5. And the other one is still in the second game with the Spaniards having a lead. So no game wins for Ireland yet. It's apparently 5-3 to Ireland. So Ireland having a comeback in the other one, which they need. You don't want to lose 2-0 when you're in these short relegation matches.
So Yellow ran the hoop as expected for the 6-3 lead.
Has Blue got wired? No, he's open on it. So this is starting to get really serious now. They're on the verge of victory, the Americans, in this match.
It's a nice weight. Oh, no, it's steamed. A steamed pass.
Much more difficult hoop than he should be having there to win. We're assuming Blake's going to make the clearance, because he's been very good at that. Because Blake's natural pace of shooting is unbelievably hard, he's always looked like he's cleared it a long way, so he can hit it like an eighth of a ball and move it 13 yards away, just off the south boundary with ease there. And the Egyptians now have to make a choice. Are they going to shoot at red, or are they going to cross their fingers that he misses? And at 6-3 down, I'm going to shoot at red every time here. There's been a little bit of niggle between the Americans, Australians on one side and the Egyptians during this series, which hasn't been ideal about placing balls and moving balls. But other than that, it's been a nice feeling between the players. But there's just been that little bit of niggle. So they haven't taken the shot. They've said, no, this is sufficiently difficult that we're going to give you the shot for the match. And it is a tough hoop.
But it is still a shot for the match.
Yeah. First blood to USA. That's a 1-0 lead.
We're going to see a lot of fist pumping and the like from both sides with every win of importance.
So thanks very much for your time, Marty. We'll move over to the other doubles.
Well, I must say to all of the people out there, and particularly to Chris, it's a pleasure to sit back and listen to Chris do commentary. In my opinion, he would be the best student and commentator on the game, AC and GC, that there is.
Right, it's a delight for me to watch players of this standard. I'm not capable of playing to this level myself anymore, but I still get a delightful enjoyment from watching people play to this level. So we'll move over to the other doubles now, and we'll get you a change of commentary, and hopefully get a chance to come back to this match tomorrow, and hopefully it's still nice and close by then.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers. Let that comment go to the keeper there that's come up on the screen. Hello, Kate.
Hi, Marty.
Hello. Can I just have a look at your earring that you've just covered up there?
Sure. I'm wearing
Yeah, it's
croquet earrings.
Yeah, okay, so it's a croquet hoop with a ball wedged in it.
It
Right,
is.
Very nice.
Yeah, came from England
Yes.
when I was over there.
Do you have matching one on the other side, or is it a different colour?
Same colour, alas.
Oh, okay.
So we've just seen the USA win that doubles competition, haven't we?
Yep, so they've won the match in 2 games. The match we've now switched across to is in game 3. Appears to be hoop 2.
Hey.
I did query what Mido is supposed to mean when Mohammed Waleed was doing the commentary in Arabic, and he said it doesn't mean anything. It's just a nickname.
Just a nickname. Well, it's a good name, but it's confusing. So that's not Mido, isn't it? Oh, we've just got the score up. Thank you very much. So again, the US in front in the first 2 games. 7-5, 7-3.
No, that can't be the score.
It can't be the
Because
score.
we've got the
no,
wrong-
because they would
the
have
wrong-
won.
The wrong players. We've got half the players have been changed up there. Oh, still refreshing. He's still refreshing.
He's
it's all right.
refreshing. Okay. So who is playing? Who are the Americans? Tom and
We just
Matthew.
did that. Yeah,
They've done that. Yep.
Tom and
Okay.
Matthew
Yep.
against the 2 Mahamas.
We just need to find the scores.
They gave us scores, but they didn't write them down.
Oh dear. Are they all cracky scores?
So
That
we'll,
would be-
we'll get them
America
shortly.
won the first one.
The first one was 7-6 because we went over
First one was
and,
7-6.
and watched that.
Yeah, so 7-6.
The US got the first one 7-6, and
Egypt won the second.
somebody will check croquet scores.
7. Hey, Paul. Do you know what was the second game with Egypt?
So it looks as though it was 5-7 in the
Yeah,
second.
7-5 to Egypt in the second.
Yep. So
Right,
pretty
we've got
close,
that.
pretty
We've got
close
that
games, both of them.
We've got that crisis kind of sorted.
Excellent. And I've just been given the bios for our Egyptians. So Nasser's the captain. He's the highest ranked Egyptian player, isn't he?
Currently, yes.
And Taha, or Mido,
Mido.
is one of the newer players, would you say?
Again, I'm not sure because I don't follow the Egyptians that closely. But he's new to springing up on the scene at this level.
Yes. So
I think these
he's-
2 players were played in the last Egyptian title, and Mido won.
Did he?
If I
Okay.
remember right.
Well,
I
he won
certainly
the
watched the live
Egyptian
stream.
Open in 2023, it says.
Oh, okay,
And
maybe
he won,
I was watching an older video.
And he's won the Tenerife tournament in Spain, so pretty well credentialed players, as are the Americans with Tom
Indeed.
Balding and Matthew Essig.
Anyway, okay, so we've got our scoreboard done. Looks good.
So we're up to hoop 3. Is that correct?
We don't
this
know. We
game?
don't know the score in this game, though.
No.
So we've got a runner going out to find out, I think. Just so it's all above board. As Mido clears yellow with black. And we can all calm down again. Excuse me.
And the Egyptians are needing to get a win here, aren't they?
Well, it's not ideal to go 2 matches down straight up at the end of the doubles. So it would be, they'll be hoping to win this game and take the match so that it's back to 1-1.
Yeah.
As the game score is 1-1. Thank
Indeed.
you.
1-1. It's okay. So Blues now didn't get cleared by yellow.
Yeah.
And
Quick check of the hoop, as the Egyptians like to do. Didn't call for the hammer this time, though.
no, he didn't. Must be solid. So this is Yasser going for the hoop. Not making it this time.
Okay, no. Got a fair rejection out at right angles all the way to the boundary, which allows red to just squeeze into the front of the hoop.
Yep. Tom's quite a careful player. Doesn't tend to wild shots, but he can do good clearances when needed.
Yeah, he's a big shooter normally, but his shooting's been a little bit off during this competition.
Okay. Yeah. So black will just come in, take position, probably hiding from yellow.
No, it's
Not
drifted,
quite.
past red. And I think it's just always coming back in and not worried about hiding from yellow so much. Blue, as we know, is on the boundary to the side, so it's a 7-yardish shot at red. So that gives yellow options of, do I take out black or do I just come in? He'll probably take out black.
I think so.
He's aiming very carefully. And
Yep.
he's got the black. Not the centre ball, but that's fine. So black's gone down near between hoop 4 and hoop 5, and yellow over to the far boundary.
So this
Blue.
should be a bread and butter clearance. It's
Well,
a
he
very
needed to hit it, but
clearance.
yeah, he well, I guess that's his version of medium pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's succeeded in what was important, which is to stop red being a runner,
Yep.
and stayed relatively close. And this is fairly predictably, red just goes straight back to the boundary where it can't be hit again.
Yep.
Has a 7-yard hoop attempt next time. Should it still be there?
Mm-hmm.
The tactics at this level are not all that different to the tactics at any level, just on a grander scale. You know, so
Yeah.
instead of going 3 feet in front of the hoop, they'll go further out, 7 yards.
Yep. Yep. And they tend to have their bread and butter clearances are just that much longer.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That's increasing your skill base out, so that you can cover bigger areas.
Yep.
Black came in and crashed into the back of the hoop and has deflected. He didn't look overly stressed about where it had stopped.
So blue looks like it's going to just get in red's way.
Well, yeah, interesting. Red is going to be snuggled. That's not often we see the Egyptians doing snuggles.
No. Has he actually succeeded? Probably good
It's
enough.
very, very close. They're having less of a look at it than we thought. He seems to think he can hit black,
I think he can hit black.
and he has.
And nearly go in.
Almost winning.
That would have been a great bonus.
So
I
in the
like those
background
shots.
there, we've got game 2 between Australia and New Zealand. It looks like a 6-4 to New Zealand, looking to tie that one up. Take it to a third game.
Yep. And that looks like
That's a nice play.
Felix and
Felix is playing with, I keep forgetting, Levi, I think.
Levi.
I do have it written in front of me somewhere. Yes, Felix is playing with Levi against Malcolm and Ed.
Okay, yep.
So black just came back into position, giving yellow a relatively short clearance. And again, he's played it as a gentle clearance, just to make sure black's not a runner, and keep yellow nearby.
So all these shots have been quite measured, haven't they?
Yes.
They're not flamboyant.
Well, a lot of the time you just have to stop people from running hoops. You don't have to hit them miles away.
Well,
You're still
you might.
controlling the area yourself, because the balls are just going to go back in front and they just get hit again.
Yep, yep.
But what it has allowed is that for blue to look at the 7-yardish hoop shot, he's already wiggled the hoop, and now he's asking for the hammer.
He's
That's
asking
more
for
like
the
it.
hammer this time. Yep. That was what we expect. Yep. But often they do clear a long way so that they can't get a return roquet. But as you say, on this occasion, they just need to have a ball in front. It's a peremptory. What would you call it? A perfunctory tap.
I don't know. You're throwing words at me that I'm not 100% understanding.
Yes, a tap that's done to meet the requirements without sending the hoops too far.
Without actually doing it.
Without doing a lot.
All right, so Blue has made the hoop. And it's come through at a good clip. So Chris would have liked that because it's come through to the next hoop instead of roaring past it.
Yeah, I think that's very wise.
So therefore, it's although it's not going to run, or it might not, probably won't run the next hoop in its next shot. It is controlling the area.
Exactly.
And Red has fallen straight into the trap of going next to it so that Blue can clear it, albeit to the short boundary.
Exactly. So the short boundary is not such a dangerous spot.
No, but it does require a good black to back it up, and he has... I think he might have just pulled it up enough. It looks brilliant on the screen, but of course that's slightly out. It is anglier than it looks.
Yeah, right.
But I think it's hasn't gone past, so I think it's all right.
Yep. So 2-1 to the Egyptians in the third game. And they've got better hoop position at this stage. We've still got yellow to come in. So is yellow going to deal with black or simply take up
I was momentarily
position?
distracted, so I can remember where yellow is.
So yellow's on
yes.
the back to hoop 3. And
well...
he's looking like a serious shot.
Well, it's not a...
No.
He's got a wide...
he's just going to do position, I think.
He's got a wide double of black and hoop, but I doubt he's going to be that aggressive. I think he's just going to come in. No, he's shooting.
He's shooting.
He's shooting at black and hoop, and he's hit his own ball red.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
That's the danger, isn't it?
It's interesting. It might not be the end of the world. It's moved red to a place better than it would be if the opposition had cleared him to that boundary.
Yeah, true.
So Blue now, isn't going to hit red. So they're a yard and a bit better off than they would have been.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So will Blue come and protect black?
I think Blue's
or
just doubling
take
up.
position? Yeah.
Just double up. And
hide from yellow, perhaps?
They don't seem to bother with
They don't worry
worrying
about
that so much,
No.
but you could have. Red's got no in-offs, it's just got a clear black. They'll probably medium pace this one, I would think. Try to stay a little bit closer. He's cranked it up a bit.
Yep.
Oh, and he's actually got a good result that he's gone over and his red has sat pretty much in front of hoop 5.
Yep. I think he'd be quite happy with that.
Oh, very, because a yellow hit solves your problem. A yellow miss now gives Blue the problem of do I run the hoop and then have red jawsed in 5 immediately. Okay, so nice to hear Kate on commentary.
Who said that? Gary Phipps.
Yeah, Gary Phipps.
Thanks, Gary.
Nice to hear Kate on commentary.
Pleased to.
And you'll be pleased to know he's driving from Bunbury to Perth, which is about 180 k's. And apparently he's listening to the commentary and only dropped out once somewhere around Mandurah.
Excellent. So you're getting it through YouTube onto your car. That's good.
Look, he's very techie.
Yep.
I got no clue, but he's all over it. All right, so black came back in and yellow hit Blue.
Yep.
So the
lovely red question.
The lovely red got wasted in its own little way, but I'm
did.
sure they'd happy to be still fighting in hoop 4.
Absolutely. How much are you going to die in the ditch over getting this hoop 4, do you think? I guess if you're near hoop 5, you've got other options.
Yeah, so I guess you're asking if they'd missed and Blue had run 4 and red's tapped into 5. Red and yellow are probably actually better off on the deal, aren't they?
Could be.
Because they've lost one game and gained one
Possibly
plus control
2.
of the next.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, we're still contesting this one now.
We are.
Blue came back in nicely. Red hit black. And black's come back in nicely, doubling up. Earns a clap from his partner. Maybe. because of where yellow is, maybe black is now blocking yellow with blue. Could be involved by the look of it from the angle on the screen.
Yeah, I think
Certainly
he has.
stopping yellow shooting the hoop from all the way up there.
But he can see blue, so he might skim off blue through the hoop if he's lucky.
Oh, that's a bit of a tricky one.
But he's got black instead.
He's come across the ball a bit and hit black.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be happy
So,
with that.
yeah, we'll have the compulsory shake of the hoop to see what it's like, but we're not hammering. And blue's run
Yeah, lovely
with power
hoop.
to the boundary.
Lovely hoop from, that's Yasser, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's a
that's-
3-1 lead.
Very
Deciding
handy.
one.
So red's enthusiastically set across to the front
Yeah.
of hoop 5.
We were talking earlier about people who play quickly, and Blake being one and Tom being another. They
Yeah,
don't mess around. We'll make it.
and we've got the score showed for everybody, 3-1. I
Yes.
think that's the other lawn though, isn't it?
No, that's this
Oh,
lawn.
it is
That's,
our
it's,
lawn.
it's a nice touch that's been happening on this lawn because the scoreboard's been set up facing back out into the lawn,
Yep.
and the spectators to the north or right of where you are on the screen can't see the scoreboard. So the
No.
scoreboard attendants have been regularly pulling the scoreboard out of its bracket and showing the crowd, like the old Sale of the Century showgirl.
It's a bit of a barrel girl look, do you think?
That's right,
I
yeah.
think it's fabulous. Yeah, no, we've been applauding it, particularly because all the spectators are on that
Okay.
behind the
We
board.
now have all the balls in front of the hoop,
He hasn't hit the red one, unfortunately, which is the
No.
one he would have liked to hit.
but blue has flown in, cleared yellow, vanished itself.
And,
Red remains the runner.
And Tom's just about to put that one through, I would have thought.
And does
So lovely weight on that shot.
pace off, and we're looking at it, but it's crossed. It's gone past hoop 6.
Past the 6, but he'll be happy with that. He's got 2-3 now to the Americans getting themselves back in the game.
Mm-hmm. Black is obviously still down behind 5. Coming
So
up
his,
now.
his partner's finding a wiring spot for black to sit.
Mm-hmm.
Do these two, have these two been playing as the doubles combination through the tournament, Marty?
Good question, but I believe yes.
That's people jam the camera.
Someone gave the camera a little nudge then,
Yeah, not gonna
Boyd. Yep.
Oh, they'll
So
get themselves
don't
in trouble.
don't adjust your set. It's
It's not an earthquake, it's just somebody tickling the camera.
yeah.
All right, so black came down quite nicely. Yellow has come in and taken better position, which would tend to indicate that red can see black.
Yep, it would. Blue might be trying to do a block.
Oh no, blue may have blocked partner on the hoop, but it may also have blocked red at black.
Tom's having a think.
Well,
So-
it's going to change the play to black clearing yellow, yellow having to hit blue.
So red
So-
can just afford to set up, or is he going
Well, he
to?
may, it might be all he has, but he's cranking up.
No,
and
he's
picking off the blue.
got blue and left black.
Yeah, well,
Not sure if that's a great
they probably
outcome.
weren't winning the whole sequence, so it means that black sure can run the hoop or look at running the hoop, but a fail leaves yellow as a runner as well.
And where's he put red?
The play, they both came down the lawn. We'll see
Oh,
that
yeah,
shortly.
yeah.
Yeah, the tendency at players at this level is, this is a hoop running shot, I just run it. It doesn't matter where the yellow ball lies on the lawn, whether it's, just there or whether it's miles away.
Yeah,
But of
think-
course, if you do fail, you're kind of handing the hoop to yellow.
you are. But if you would have run that hoop without yellow being there, then why not run it?
Yes,
Yes.
and he does.
Lovely run
So we're back to a
to
4-2
Mido.
lead.
And is someone moving the camera again, Boyd? Is that
Yes.
maybe they're cheering? It's probably a cheering move.
Yeah, no, that's the pole. So
Oh, they lean on the pole and the pole moves the camera right.
because of where the lack of room, the camera's on the pole.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's 4-2 to the Egyptians in the third game.
We've got a nice yellow across, and while that's happening and you're doing the commentary, somebody called Dawn Jupin.
Oh, it's
J-U-P.
Dawn.
It's sure nice to hear Kate's voice.
Thank
Hello
you,
from your
Dawn.
American croquet friend.
Yeah, Dawn and I were at the World Championships recently.
Okay.
She did a bit better than me. And, she's from North Carolina. I can't remember the name of your club, Dawn, but...
Send us a message.
Yep, she's one of the pros over there in the US. There's a number of croquet pros, including some of the players here. And Dawn's played in the women's worlds in the past.
Okay, blue came down short. I can't remember if it was stymied or not, but it was awful short. Red came down to a reasonably good position, but wide. And black has taken out the good runner, yellow.
Yep.
On the lawn behind, Australia won game 1, New Zealand 6-5 up in game 2, and attempting to make the 12th hoop to get that into a third game.
And so the Americans just put yellow back in a good spot. I think blue's going to clear red. Oh no, he's cleared yellow. So Tom's got an angled shot, but he's got the hoop to himself.
Yeah, New Zealand did run that hoop in the background, so he is
Oh, lovely shot.
game all up there between Australia and New Zealand.
Okay.
Yep, nice hoop by Red.
Nice hoop by the Americans. Obviously, Tom's pretty good with those angled hoops. So that's now 3-4 to the Egyptians. And we're heading around to hoop 8.
Black in first. Looks okay. Might have hoped for that to turn a little more than what it did. But he's hung back far enough to be a runner.
So did we expect a US-Egypt final, do you think, Marty?
Did we?
Did we? Did anyone? Thank
Okay,
you.
so seeding. This is seed 1, Egypt, versus seed 3, the
Yep.
US. So not that far off the mark.
Not that far off, yep.
On player strength before the event, looking at the event, I definitely had the Americans in the final.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would have liked it to have been against Australia.
Yes.
But,
Wouldn't we all?
I mean, it's not being beyond the realms of Australia was seeded 2. But it was very close. The seeding could change quite easily based around the rankings.
Yep.
Right up until the 10th of February when they cut it off.
Yep. Yeah. It's very close at this level, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's you can argue that seed 3 gets a slightly easier draw, given the relative strength of the teams. Although Red has attempted to hoop and has got basically in the jaws and then spat out and spun around the other side.
Unlucky.
But in the end of the day, you've got to beat everybody to win the event, so or everybody you play to win the event, not everybody.
Yep.
So really, it's cosmetic, I suppose. You can say, well, it's slightly easier to make the finals if you're seeds 1 and 3 in the current format and with the current strength of teams, because 2, 4, and 5 are quite equal. But in another year, you may have less strong teams or more strong teams, and then the draw becomes largely irrelevant.
Yes, I felt as though Egypt definitely lifted its game yesterday and the day before against Australia.
Oh, and I think Chris nailed it on the head during the commentary when he said that it's often how you finish the game. And so hoops 10, but particularly 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
And probably Ed in particular got a lot of leads and didn't win the games. So, But it is what it is. People are doing their best.
Absolutely, yeah. We've
at-
seen
at-
some fabulous play. It's been
absolutely.
excellent contests.
And
And most of those games were so close. Blue's just been rejected by the hoop
yes,
or bounced off. So,
the players play this way. That's how they play because that's what they do. But there have been a couple of those sort of hoops, and I kind of thought, if you 3/4 or a half pace that, you'll probably go through. I mean, I'll stagger through, but you'll be better off than rejecting to there. But
that's what we're all thinking as spectators, Marty. But as you say, once you've got a process,
and muscle
that's
memory.
the process that you tend to stick with. And, most of the time their hoop running's very good.
Indeed.
And I feel like sometimes, though, that style of hoop running suits a longer hoop run.
Yes.
Because by the time it gets to the hoop, it's already, lost a bit of pace.
Yeah, but it may also have developed a particular kind of forward spin or whatever that helps it get through.
Yep.
Hoops. All right, so here we've got red camped in front. And look, you would think that black would be clearing that, but he may well just be ignoring red and taking the hoop here. He did ignore red and take the hoop, and he hit the other leg and bounced down. Well, it might have been the same leg as blue and bounced down as well to the side. So that leaves red in front of the hoop, and nobody else, but all the other balls are near.
They are.
So there's a lot of interchange to come.
And that was a valid choice because blue's there to deal with red now. So.
All right. So there's a little bit of byplay going on the messages. I won't talk about that. But the club you were looking for is Chattooga.
The Chattooga Club. That's Dawn's club. Thank you, Dawn. Now I remember. Not Chattanooga, but Chattooga.
In the town of Cashiers.
That's correct. North Carolina. Beautiful part of the world.
Named a town after cashew. Okay, so red has now taken the just over 7 yard, probably about 8 yard clearance on black. With both blue and yellow sitting in front of the hoop as runners. Yellow will, of course, play before blue. So black, which is now on the boundary.
Yep, on the boundary. Hidden cunningly like a pipe.
21 yards away.
So black's going to look to clear yellow.
Yeah.
And leave its partner ball in front.
What that little symbol's all about now. And whether red is in play, I don't think red's blocking anything. So black needs to hit. Maybe hitting red. Because yellow, if yellow does run, red is sitting at the next hoop on the wrong side, albeit.
Yeah.
No, he's ignoring
he's
red.
For yellow.
And he's missed yellow as well. All right, so if yellow does take on the hoop here and runs it, red is sitting legally over there, the wrong side of hoop 9, but pretty much there. So this could be a huge advantage here for yellow.
Yep.
To run this hoop.
So Matthew Essick looking to take the hoop run on, ignoring blue.
So apparently it's -7 in Canada right at the moment.
Okay.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad here. Yep.
No. Well done. So that's now even the score at 4-all.
Yes, and red is sitting onside.
Yep.
Near hoop 9. About a yard, the wrong side, almost dead in front.
Now that blue's a little short.
Well, blue's probably played short so that it can lure red into a position it can hit.
Yeah, rather than target himself.
Being the target, indeed.
Yeah,
so red's gone immediately to the back boundary, so it's got a 7 yard hoop shot and can't be moved.
We would have had about 7 degrees this morning, do you think, Marty? It's pretty cool.
7 above. Yeah, that's
7 above, not 7 below.
Yeah.
But still, it was quite cool because it will be 32 today, apparently. And that's in Celsius, of course, not Fahrenheit. So it's a big contrast, 7 to 32.
Yeah, that'll be late in the day, I would think.
Yep. But
Black went too far by a reasonable clip.
yeah, no, it did.
Yellow came in front. So blue, worried about the threat of red taking the 7-yard hoop shot, seems to have just bunted yellow out the way and tried to block red at the hoop. Now, that was unfortunate
So
that the
red's
Egyptian
missed.
player wandered across when we couldn't see actually what happened. But
Yeah, so red I thought was going for blue and missed it and the hoop. That was a shame.
and got to there. Interesting. All right, so blue bunting yellow gently to the side has made a bit of a tag team effort here by blue and black to get rid of yellow.
Yep.
So, distance on this. Yes, distance and a good angle. So, full, well, not full length of the court, but 35 less 6, 29-yard shot. With the hoop probably not wiring the shot, but in the picture it's there. So if you drift a little, you probably won't edge blue.
So Matthew will be trying to get blue clear if he can see it.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely shooting.
Mm.
He's close.
Nice
He's
looking
got it.
shot,
He's
yeah.
got it. That's very nice.
Done the business and kept himself down at the back.
Mm-hmm. So blue and yellow are now on the boundaries.
Yep.
At
something of an angle.
what's that? 30 degrees each.
Yep.
On the side of the hoop.
So blue's just coming back in, and red's a little way away, but red can afford just to come in. Perhaps using blue for cover, I don't know.
It's
And
just
leave
coming.
yellow to clear blue.
Yeah, you don't want it. It's not long enough. It's
Little short.
just past hoop high. Probably looks a bit generous on the screen.
Yeah, I don't think that's a runner.
I think it's a runner. I think possible jaws there, but even that might be tricky.
So we've got another result from Ireland versus Spain. So Ireland and Spain are playing in the final of the...
No, they're the other one.
For the 7th, 8th.
7th,
Okay.
8th. They're playing to avoid relegation.
They are. So it seems to be one game each. So Ireland was 2, Spain 7 in the first, and then 7-3 to Ireland in the second. So that's Kieran Murphy, Mark Stevens versus Begonia
very
and
handy shot.
Julian. Sorry,
Yes,
what's happening
so
here?
and Spain won the other double. So yellow has cleared blue
Thank you.
and almost went in off. It's hit the hoop leg and nestled.
That's a
more-
good shot, isn't it?
Good enough to say that that's in the jaws. It isn't actually in the jaws, but it's close enough. It's
Yep.
bounced off the leg just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
So we're talking just a couple of inches.
Oh, but he
blue-
hasn't cleared it.
Blue felt that he needed to hit it, obviously, because red will deal with black.
Now, would you clear black at this stage or try a snuggle? Because he's not going to clear it that far unless he gets a bit of angle on
Well,
it.
we decided previously that snuggles were pretty powerful, but people weren't
But
doing
people don't
them.
use them.
Don't like to use them. So he's just powered black to the boundary. So this is a 7-yard jump shot
Jump
for
shot.
black.
Yeah. Possible jump clearance.
Chris did say the Egyptians, well, they can jump, but they are a little bit weaker in their jumping.
These Egyptians
Well,
or
no,
Egyptians
in general. In general.
Because I saw the Egyptians as flamboyant people who did take on jumps. What's that Peter Freer's face doing in the way?
Yeah, get out of
Get
there.
out of the way. But Chris is saying they don't tend to take the jumps.
Okay,
on.
well, he didn't jump. He obviously had enough angle to work with that he could actually
Yep.
hit the left-hand edge, as we look at it, of yellow and squirt it off to the side, which he's done.
Well, we all know how hard it is. If you were to try and put that yellow one through, you'd be very unlikely to succeed.
Always in peeling it through by accident.
Yeah. So when you hit it, you have to bear that in mind. You think,
Oh, I think you can't
I'm
worry about it.
unlikely to push it through. I'm going to, So bouncing it off is quite a viable option.
Okay.
So that leaves the yellow ball, the main one in front. A little bit of an angle, but
It's surrounding the hoop. It's been in a few different places.
it has, yeah.
Hasn't had a chance to run it yet.
So from the Egyptians being in charge of that hoop, now the...
but
we'll see.
Nobody's really in charge.
Nobody's in charge.
You'd rather be America than Egypt. But
Yeah.
So blue is going to clear that, I would think. Oh,
Oh, he's
he
trying
was
to
trying to
run
run
it.
the hoop.
He was.
Again, that's the deceptive line on the screen in front of us. And he's hit the left hand upright and vanished.
Headed off to the... which boundary is that one? The west boundary?
Yeah.
Which is the north? We're heading...
You
we're
start.
looking
You
north.
start at the south, so we're looking north,
North,
on a
south,
on a
west,
croquet
east.
court.
So west,
Yeah,
he's
so
gone
that's
headed off
west.
to the west boundary.
I'm going to say, because we're following this now, it's took away from going to the next game, which was these guys that have changed.
That wasn't the one we were going to do anyway.
Oh, isn't it?
No,
Oh, it's Blake. Yeah.
no, that's all good. No panic.
Bring that
We're
for
on
League.
track.
Bring that for League.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so
We
many
have a,
games to cover, aren't there?
Well, yes, but we do have a prescribed format that they would prefer to have covered today.
Okay.
But of course, you can't guarantee finishing times.
No.
So the plan was to do the doubles that we did do, and then switch to singles of Essek and Mohammed Nas. But of course, they're still playing their doubles.
They are.
So we're getting a bonus of the doubles featuring those two players, and then we will probably stay on this lawn and do the singles of those
Okay.
two players.
Now that'll be a very good match.
Okay, so we've got yellow in the jaws this time.
Fist pump.
Black in a very wide jumping position if it's still there.
Yeah. But red is
red
there
is-
ready to deal with black.
Yeah. So blue coming in from where it deflected to when it failed the hoop. Needs to impact the play here somehow. Our
So
cameraman
we'll-
has had to go and do something else, so he's not available to pan that. But anyway,
So that's a missed
blue.
shot on yellow.
blue shot at yellow, missed.
'Cause there wasn't much point in him hitting red because red would have just gone to the close boundary and cleared black a long way. So
Red does the obvious clearing black. Doesn't really care where red goes.
no.
So Mohammed Nasser's giving away the play by standing out there and saying, "Hit it here." So clearly they're not going to try some crazy jump.
I thought they might have tried to skim off red and get themselves down to the next hoop. That would have been an option. But then he might have just pushed red down to a better position. So
The Egyptians, I don't believe, have any AC players currently.
so that means they wouldn't have thought of it.
Possibly an AC player was probably more likely to think, "Oh, what if I flick off the edge of that?" You know.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a pretty good golf croquet.
Well, it
option
is.
as well.
It is. Maybe I'm talking out of turn. But
We try them.
yeah.
They're worth trying if there's not a lot to lose.
All right. So, hope to the Americans. They've turned it around from being behind. They've got back in front.
They have. Yep, 5-4 in the third. And I think the red just pushed blue a little closer.
Yeah. So when yellow ran
Probably
the hoop,
doesn't matter.
it ran to a nice position. Bit short, but in a running position near 10.
Yep.
Blue came up and got slightly better position than yellow, and then red came up and actually bunted blue a tiny bit closer to the hoop.
That's right.
Black is just going to come in though.
This is like second division play. We like this.
Well, if black's gone there, you would tend to think that yellow isn't impacting anything obvious. So yellow's options, again, we can't quite make out the ball lie, where they actually lie, whether he's just going to run straight past these two and run the hoop, or whether he's actually looking to hit black into blue and clear both balls.
I feel as though he's going for the hoop.
Yeah. No.
Oh no, I was wrong.
He caught
But
the
he's
edge of
managed
black.
to get black.
Well, that's not
But
great
he
because it opens up
needs-
blue.
Yeah, he's left blue in front.
So blue has a slightly hampered stance because of where the red ball is.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he can't be touching that once he's in his stance.
No, they're pretty comfortable. Just
No, but he's forcing you into a slightly different stance can often be enough.
He's done the ragdoll look.
Yeah, he absolutely smacked that. And again, it's rejected badly.
So now Tom needs to run this and to give Americans a good lead.
And he
Which
does.
he's done. Beautiful hoop. That
So
makes it
that's-
6-4 to the Americans.
So
Very strong.
Egypt have lost the first doubles. And now they're in trouble in this one as well.
Yep,
They need to win all the hoops from here on in.
they do.
It's a very gentle black. And it's actually quite short.
It is, isn't it?
It's probably going to jaws. And it might be able to run. Again, the angle might be deceptive, but it's more pressure than you'd like in this position.
Yep.
It's a good yellow.
Blue might be trying to push black up.
Has
not
it's
much.
pushed black a tiny bit. It's gone into a useful position itself, but I don't know if it's helped black much.
And red be looking to clear black.
Yeah, Tom's the shooter, and he's got black.
Oh,
He's got black, and it's
no.
deflected into yellow and stopped it. So black's not a runner, if it was. But now it has a real easy clearance on yellow to protect blue.
Yep.
Or if they were snuggly type people, they've got a real easy snuggle. But it's they don't seem to do that.
They don't seem to do that.
Is
Matthew in the way?
No, he's actually having a
along.
rethink, and it's actually his partner, Mohammed, that's moved.
Oh, okay.
Matthew stayed exactly the same place.
He's still not thinking of a snuggle though, I don't think.
No, he's cut clearing this.
Yeah. Cut clearing. See, they do the cuts at this
Yep.
distance.
So he's cut the yellow so that it is. We're just going to make sure we've got exactly the right spot on the boundary.
Has there been any controversies about spots on the boundary this game?
There was a little bit earlier on in the not this game, in the other one.
Yep.
So he's got distance. He's got about a 10, 11 yard shot, but yellow now can't see the hoop. Blue is between.
Blue's in the way, which is
Yep.
why he was very keen to get the position on the boundary.
Yep. So yellow's hitting blue.
Yep.
And you called it before about how people don't put these through the hoop, and we shouldn't worry about it.
That's correct.
But if
Had a good go at it though. Just when I've said that. But see, it's still hard, even when you got the line right.
so yellow clears blue, which is the main objective, but blue hits the hoop leg and bounces back, not to a running position, but to a position where he can tap in close and wire from yellow.
Wire from yellow, yes, which he's done. Bit of clapping, acknowledging that. The Egyptians are good at encouraging and cheering each other,
Yes.
which I think is a good thing.
Oh, absolutely. This is a team environment.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Team morale's very important in these matches.
It's a funny kind of teamy thing because you don't play as a team. You're playing as singles and your scores get added together, as you would know from the Interstate Shield.
Indeed.
And doubles is your only real teamy interaction as such on the court. But off the court stuff, you can be buddy, friendly, build people up, do all the right things there. And you can't win it off the court, but you can sure as hell lose it. By your behaviour and your carry on and your lack of support.
If you don't support
whatever.
each other. I think it's because they're representing their country too, that adds that other layer of teaminess. You're not just a team, you're actually got this kind of national responsibility.
Well, you could put as much of that on yourself as you want. It doesn't really matter.
Well,
I
think these two nations put fair bit on the USA and Egypt, don't they?
But all of Egyptian croquet is invested in Egyptian croquet, but the rest of Egypt's probably not invested in Egyptian croquet.
You don't think?
So, well, I'm sure the average Egyptian on the
surprised.
street doesn't care. So nor would the average American on the street or the average Australian on the street. But
No.
if you're closer to the action, you're invested, yeah.
That's right. And between other croquet players, that's who they are. They're the US croquet players, or the Egyptian croquet players. Ooh, he was going for the hoop.
Interesting.
Red was going just as Blue had a great shot, and he was nearly at the boundary, but Red elected to go for a hoop run, I think, unless he just missed Blue.
Yeah, I think he may have, but I think he was shooting the hoop.
Yep.
And
So
he
now
said
that's left Egypt in charge of hoop 10, which they need to be, because if they don't win this, they're out of the game and the match. Oh, that was just a bit too far.
There's been some interesting interplay where good saving to get yourself back into the hoop, but then when you've needed to do a little bit more to control the hoop, it's been let go again.
And Matthew's done another clearance. So yellow's cleared Blue from the hoop running position.
Well, he's had a few shots from the same spot, more or less.
He has. He's got a bit of practice in. But he's also not in front, so this will mean that Blue will just come back, and Black's right there too. So Egyptians remain in control of hoop 11.
And they've grasped, they lost to 10,
But that's a bit
didn't they?
short. I think that's too short, unless Black's going to kick it up. But
Yeah, so they have
Maybe-
stolen control, but they haven't really nailed it.
no. But I mean, you wonder sometimes if they do keep their ball out a little bit and then promote it. I'm not sure if they use that tactic very much. It's a favourite of some New South Wales players, I know.
Chris was talking about it earlier about the times when you could play this where here Black could promote Blue with pace off and get both balls into running positions. Yeah, if you can do that, absolutely.
Well, if it keeps it out of the way of being a target for a bit until you're ready to get it forward to run.
But you can position your own ball much easier than you can position somebody else's. So
Putting
Black there is easier. And then if yellow misses you, you protect Black with Blue.
Yeah.
But of course, if yellow hits you like that,
And maybe could have hit Blue as well, but he didn't quite manage it.
then Blue is now having to take position, and this cycle continues.
Yep.
So by doing the little promotion, you break that cycle by making the other ball more important than the one you were expecting.
That's right. Yep. So they've got two tough clearances. So Red's on the boundary behind hoop 11, so they'll be up, or in front of hoop 11. So he's coming up and just letting Matthew do the work again, I think.
Well, he has to really. I mean, yeah.
Well, he could have had a go, but he would have likely bounced off and.
Yeah, or possibly, as you said, peeled Blue through, which would have been a complete disaster in the stage of the game that they're at.
Yes, would have been.
Or he could have vanished to the other end of the lawn, and then Matthew has to hit for no immediate gain.
Yeah. So Matthew's over on that eastern boundary.
Yeah.
And there he goes. Thank you, Boyd. And he's got a lovely clearance.
Shot. So by springing Red in, this hit turns the hoop over and gives Red the chance to immediately steal it.
That's right.
And the match it would be.
So Matthew Essex been doing the bulk of the clearances lately. And,
Which is interesting because
effectively.
Tom's the renowned
Is he?
clearer, hitter.
I mean, obviously they could both do both. They could both do clearing and running. Yes. Yep. Everyone in croquet's got to be an all-rounder. We can't afford to have bowlers and only bowlers or batters. That's really not on.
Indeed.
And only clearers.
Okay, Blue's missed.
Yep. So that's left Red in front, which is Tom's ball.
Yeah, and the confidence level here is high. The conditions are suitable.
There's not a high risk here because they're already 6-4 up, so I've got more chances if this doesn't work, but it should work. Yeah, well done.
So the US have got game 3 and therefore the match, which means that they've got both doubles for a 2-0 lead.
Okay, yep, 2-0 lead.
Which is the complete opposite of their block one, because they were 2-0 down
When
in
they
the
played
doubles.
Egypt in the block, is that
and
right?
then they won all the singles and
Okay.
and stole it 4-2. So if they win all the singles on the back of this, then Egypt are going to be in big trouble.
They are. Yeah, they're looking pretty happy.
Hang on a sec. We've got messages coming in.
There's hand signals being made.
All right, well done to the USA getting both doubles. And we'll be back in a little bit with our match number 2 between Matthew Essig and Mohammed Nas.
Yep.
So they'll be starting, I don't know, what,
Well, they've
15,
got to have
20
a
minutes?
suitable break now. They finished a match, to do all the things they need to do.
Yep.
So, yeah, 15 minutes or so is probably good. I don't know whether you're staying on, Kate. I'm probably not. There's a lot of people.
But anyway, we're going to rack this up and we'll be back in a little while with our next match. So well done to the US getting both doubles.